Whoops. Did you turn that camera off, Dan?
Did I turn it off?
Oh, hello. What's up, everybody? Still working out all our technical details, getting all set up. Yanda's here in the house, getting the wheels set up. I guess this mic should go here. There he is. There he is.
I know where the camera was.
I'll have to, when we switch to the camera where he's building the wheels, I'll have to do a little, we'll have a moment of blackout. But anyways, how's everyone doing tonight? I saw there's a bunch of you guys in here. Jim James, William LeBron, Madison. Hey, Blackball. I feel like it's been a while. Red was in here a minute ago. Michigan Biker. Did I say what's up to Bradley? Peekaboo. Yeah. What's up, Blaine from Frederick, Maryland? Mushroom Hills in here. Let me, Adam, what's up? Let me get the other camera working real quick. So my audio should stay live, but I just got to click on something, deactivate, activate. There we go. Cool. There's a wheel building cam is in effect now. If I look different, it's because I'm just using a GoPro for myself. So just a cheap camera pointed on me. What's up, Maine Outdoors? Before we really get going, I did want to, Buddy Ed works at Franklinton, is it Bicycle Works? Franklinton Cycle Works. And unfortunately, their building, well, ironically, for a bike shop co-op type place, got run into by a car. $125,000 worth of damage done to it, and insurance will cover the physical costs, but the staff is kind of hurting, and then obviously they're losing all these profits. So I wanted to drop a link to their GoFundMe if anyone feels like helping out. I've ridden bikes with Ed. He's been on a bunch of the videos, so that's a link if you want to check out the GoFundMe. Gosh. Don't go wrecking the place. Anyways, so, yep. So it's just if you want to get that link back up if you miss it, or if someone asks about it later, it's just !Ed. I put his name in there, but because he's the guy I know down there. But yeah, just wanted to give them a shout out, and hopefully someone could help. You could see how, in that photo, how bad the building looks. I've seen it on Instagram too. It looks even worse from the side. Anyways, so. Oh yeah, I've got to remember I am on the B camera tonight. So. See, did I catch up with everybody who's in here? And how's our connection? Looks like it's working tonight. No weird stuff like the last couple weeks. So, yeah. What's up, Places Lost? How you doing? Let's see. Oh wow, Peekaboo got another bike packing. So. We've been giving advice on bike packing and bike packing trips, and then scheduled 2, and they both got canceled. That's crazy. Dimitri, this is America. We don't cover everything, no matter what happens. No, I mean, yeah, I guess the insurance is just on the building, but yeah, people's salaries and stuff are not usually, covered, and then we have no real social safety net here. So, yeah, that's the U.S. But try and do that, and you're a goddamn socialist, you know.
You are a socialist.
Oh, that's right. Places Lost. Yeah, been out in the Buffalo area earlier in the summer, and then. Well, I camped by Syracuse on my way back from Boston, so not quite Buffalo area. But yeah, we just sue everyone. You're right. If you want money in the U.S., you just sue everybody. It's the strategy. Let's see how this looks. Oh, nice. Look at that. Nice.
This thing's fucking filthy.
It's almost like a Ferris wheel.
You're not popped up picture in picture.
I noticed that picture in picture is Yanda.
Oh.
I didn't think to switch that, so yeah. Can't think of everything. So. Dimitri said, looks like the build is done. So these are, the wheels have not been taken apart because last time I took apart the wheels before I brought them in when I was getting these rebuilt, I took apart one of them and Yanda was annoyed because I guess it's easier just to transfer everything, the spokes over.
Yes, and it's just a rim swap.
Yeah, it's a rim swap. We're using the same hubs.
Rim. And it's a matching rim to what's already on there. So
yeah. Same rim.
Just new.
Yeah, same new rim. God, that sounds so weird. New rims that are the same as the old rims. The actual same hub, so there was no reason for me to take it completely apart, which Yanda made sure he let me know. In a very nice way.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yep, so these are full velocity builds, and they're going to be rebuilt. So what happened is...
For the third time.
Yeah, for the third time. These are going to be the third rims these hubs are on. But the rear, it's the rear one, right? Like corroded really badly on the inside. So we think it's the sealant. So
Probably.
Velocity has used a new anodizing coating. You'll be able to see the rims are not going to look quite as shiny as they have in the past. So the aileron...
They still offer polished, but you can't have them because you keep ruining them.
Yeah, so they do have polished. I'm not allowed to ride the polished because I keep ruining them. So...
Yeah, so these are shiny.
These are more of a, what is it, a coating they put on it?
Well, it's just anodized, so it's like
Anodized.
a layer of aluminum oxide.
Is that, I didn't know what anodizing is. I mean, I knew. Oh,
Yeah,
huh.
it's a layer of aluminum oxide. That's
Are they still American made? Because they didn't put the big flag logo and everything on there.
says right here, handmade in Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Right.
I kind of like the more subtle.
Oh, I can't see what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
you have no idea.
Just standing here.
Dave needs to guide you. It's really focused on the.
Spot on.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You want me to turn the enabling thing on where it follows?
Do you think it needs to, or you follow?
Not yet.
Yeah. Yep, I'm getting a rim job. What's up, Brian B? So the other times it was totally my fault. I had just dented the hell out of the wheels, and so I bought a new set of rims. And Dirty River, I paid them to rebuild them. I think you used the same spokes on the one, but then
No, they're
they're
both
all
new
new
spokes.
spokes? Oh.
Which is why I'm reusing the spokes this time because they're not that old.
Okay, so I had put too much damage to or too much stress on the spokes too. You think last time? Or?
They're just old. I mean, they were Otis's wheels before they were your wheels.
That's true.
And those wheels were like 7 or 8 years old at that point. I mean, Otis, I think, got those like right when he, or maybe even before he opened the shop.
Oh, really?
He might have still been working out of his house when he got those. He had those wheels for a while.
Yeah, so you could
So
see.
they were probably,
Oh, you can't.
shops been open for 7 years, so they were probably 7 years old, 6
Ah.
years old, because it was a year ago when I rebuilt them, so.
Yeah, so Velocity did warranty him when I was getting new tires put on. My friend D sold me that extra light Reneers, and my tire was worn out. And when they took them apart, they noticed corrosion, which we think is
Yeah,
from the
this
sealant,
is-
right?
Maybe, I mean, it's hard to tell, but.
Oh, nice. We actually get focus and everything.
Yeah. So. Yeah, your valve hole's blown out, pal.
The valve hole's worn out too.
That's where the corrosion is. It's all chewed up and like.
Oh yeah. Wow. There's a little crack in there.
Yeah.
So you think that's all from the sealant, or do you think some of it could be salt from the winter?
It's probably a mixture of sealant and salt and water, and your impeccable cleaning habits.
I
I've just never seen such clean bikes in my life.
keep my bikes cleaner than most of my friends. It's a low bar.
It's a pretty low bar.
Yeah,
This
is
bar's almost underground.
You want me to zoom in on this thing?
Well, I mean, come on, it's upside down right now. Oh, let me see what the other comments were. Nah, we're not. Sam asked if we're putting a SRAM XDR free hub on these. No. This is actually, this is a Shimano 105 group set. I run a road group set on these wheels.
Sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
You have a mountain cassette.
Oh, yeah. Well, the derailleurs and the shifters.
Well,
are
the derailleur's extended. So
Yeah, then we have the derailleur hang.
cassette.
What do you call it? Who makes the road link?
Wolf tooth.
Yeah, Wolf Tooth Road Link. What is that, an RD2 or something? So it drops that derailleur down so I could get that. What, I think we have a 42 on there now?
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, so I have 1142 on the back and 5034 on the front.
Yeah.
I'm talking about range. That's why 2x is the way in the lights.
It only works in most of the gears.
It works in all the gears when your derailleur hanger's not bent.
No, if you go little, the chain goes slack.
Yeah. Bradley Codora asked why not cliffhangers.
Because Tim is not a fat fuck like me. So he doesn't need those.
We could say I don't need them, but they are dented too.
You're gonna dent the cliffhangers too.
So-
second set that's dead.
Yeah, second set of dented the hell out of it. But I run those are blunt 35s on the
Yeah.
gunner. So those are a little tougher, but they're also
The
because
Blunt 35 is the mountain bike version of an aileron, really. I mean, it's still a pretty light wheel. It's not as light as the Blunt SS, which Micah continually destroys.
So is the cliffhanger even stouter and tougher than the
Yeah,
blunts?
that's like their toughest.
So that would mostly be a mountain bike type.
It's like a touring mountain bike wheel.
Touring mountain.
Like they're heavy.
Same amount of spoke holes?
I mean, it's Velocity. They'll drill as many holes as you want in them.
Huh.
You can get them drilled for 48.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, you can get them drilled for. I mean, well, I guess I could probably order an aileron drilled for 48.
Oh, really?
They'd be like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
But they would if
They would do it.
I asked really nice, they would probably do it for me.
Wheelie nice?
Really nice.
Everyone's been making wheelie jokes already.
I'd have to be really nice about it and try really hard.
So you tape these to each other so you could just do like a straight transfer, basically.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking at here. That's why you asked for masking tape.
Yep.
Makes sense now. Oh, so you don't need to take the rotors off. I was wondering if I should have done that.
Well, because I'm going to transfer off of this side, so I just pulled the cassette and I left the rotor on there.
Adam
This
asked,
is a
Go ahead.
fairly dirty operation. Yeah, if I hadn't built these before and knew that the spokes were gonna have some remnant of spoke prep still on them and all that, I would completely take these apart. But then the chances of breaking spokes, especially because a few of these have a little bit of damage, they're not horrible, but I'm not taking them out.
Adam asked if you're with Dirty River. Yeah, so.
No, I just wear these cool shirts.
Well, we all wear those shirts. That actually doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but I have like 30 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so Yanda's mechanic at Dirty River, but he's worked at a number of bike shops. So the one before were you still at Broadview the last?
Broadway, yeah.
Broadway. Yeah. Broadway. And then you've also done like freelance wheel building and stuff, right?
A little bit. I mean, I didn't really start building like a lot of wheels till COVID when you couldn't get wheels. That's when
So you guys had because Otis had a bunch of rims then, right? So you're just.
We sold a lot of those on eBay.
Ah.
We did a few wheel builds. But no, you could get parts for the most part. Just complete wheels were just like unobtainium. We get all of our spokes, well, almost all of our spokes from Supreme. So their U.S. importer is in Illinois. It's Haas Active Sports. Do I need a mic?
What?
Do I need a mic or?
You're mic'd.
Oh, okay.
I just when you're talking.
I wasn't sure. I was like, am I just talking?
No, you're on.
Okay. So yeah, Haas Active Sports in Illinois we get. So they're super cool because I can just call them and say I need this many of this spoke and this length, and that's what they give me instead of ordering like a box of DT spokes from QBP. Say I need 4 different spoke lengths for your wheel build. I buy each length in a box of 100, and I might need 16 of each, and the rest just sit there.
Let's see, we're having an issue with our connection again for some reason. Think we need to start it over? Why?
Did this last week for like 2 minutes and then.
Excuse me. Now what's up? I'll just tape it. Let's see if we come back. Huh, it's showing real low.
Yeah, I didn't build wheels at all at Broadway. We might have had 6 sets of wheels total that shop built the whole time I was there.
Huh, I'm trying to reset. I'm trying to figure out where I can reset this, but it doesn't show me an option if I could reset it without losing this stream. We still buffering pretty bad.
Yeah.
Huh. Dang it. Oh wait, I think we're back. Oh, it just shot back up into green on my end, so let's see if we're back, guys. YouTube still is telling me it's buffering, but my computer's telling me it's not, so. Looking any better, Dave, or?
Video seems to be playing.
No. Yeah, we'll push through. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get maybe it'll pick back up. It's showing me a better connection now, but there's a couple questions in here. Blaine asked if I've ever owned a Bianchi. I've never owned any Italian bicycles. Even the cheaper later Bianchis I've never had. Michigan Biker said
I got a few
What?
Bianchis.
You had a few? Yeah, that's right.
My dad's big Bianchi guy.
They're one of the few Italian brands that actually also made like cheaper bicycles. Like, you know, there's never been like a cheap Kaunago you could buy. They've always been high end.
Yeah.
Michigan Biker said he had corrosion in his American Classics. Pretty sure it was the stands.
Yeah, I mean, since these were built, we more or less stopped using stands in the shop.
Really?
Um,
What was in these? Do you remember? Did you say this?
Probably Panaracer.
It's very pale.
Yeah.
Okay. It was.
Smells like Shamrock Shakes.
I didn't get a good whiff before I cleaned them up.
I like the way it smells, but
Where are you at in the comments?
I just saw Dimitri ask where the power tool's at. Why? What did you say?
Oh, you're pretty far back. Nothing crazy. Oh, just pudgy.
Oh, Pudgy's in here. I missed him.
what does Pudgy have to say?
Roner virus.
Well, I get everything loose with not power tools. Then I will build them with power tools.
Then you'll get into the power tools. Yeah. A couple people ask about the moon
My
lander.
custom made power tools.
Nice. Are you guys gonna get a moon lander, or is that?
Fuck no.
They're pricey.
$4,200
Is that because the
for
pinion?
a 24-inch fat bike.
Is that because the pinion? What does the
Yeah.
pinion cost?
Money.
Yeah.
Well, not only does the actual gearbox cost money, your designing a bike with it, the frame is more expensive because you're designing it with that cradle in it.
I think it's such a specific bike. I mean, if you live somewhere super, like, I think, like, if you live
We
in,
have
like,
a hard time selling $4,200 bikes that have motors on them.
Yeah.
Never mind the ones you actually have to fucking pedal.
I think the Moonlander would make sense if you live somewhere like the Upper Peninsula, where it's super sandy, and then you have a long,
No.
snowy winter.
It doesn't make sense because
No.
they have like incredible.
They groom the trails.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
incredible network of groomed, fast trails. Like that's bear grease country.
Yeah.
Like fast racing fat bikes. Like that's where they do it.
Yeah, because there were trails even that were marked when we were riding, even not even quite in the UP, but up by.
Well, they have
Traverse City.
clubs that have snowmobile groomers, and they groom hundreds of miles of fat bike trail with a snowmobile.
So what would you use it for? Super rocky stuff? The commercial showed them basically in the desert.
Yeah,
But,
that's what you'd use. I mean, you could use, like, if you wanted to ride, like, Sleeping Bear or something just on the dunes, sure.
yeah.
But if I was going to build an ultimate UP fat bike, it would be like a Bear Grease or, something, a fast fat bike, because that's the trails they have.
Places Lost asks, what is the spoke count on these?
32.
32, okay. Oh, Dylan's in here. What's up, Dylan? Dylan's back from Colorado. Gonna get to see him in a few weeks. We're gonna go ride the Baileys. So. Oh, I see the pudgy comment now.
Well, I can't see the comments, so...
Yeah. He said, hey, Yanda, you can get these parts. Wes said he got some aftermarket wheels. Lynn Gravel 650B 35 millimeter deep. They're lighter and faster than the stick wheels. Lynn Gravel, Lyn.
Lund.
What is it?
Lun.
Oh, it was a typo. Lun. Oh, I see that right below it. Yeah. Yeah, I think we should be good back. Headsling said he had no idea that rim swap was a thing. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as Yanda told me that, it made total sense to me. So are those all new nipples you're putting on then?
Yeah, I'm not chasing around used nipples.
I have no idea. I know nothing about wheel building. So
It's a
when
pain in the ass. I could do it, but I'm not going to.
yeah. Oh, because they fall into the old rim.
Yeah, that's why the last rim, they're still in there.
Yeah, they still shake around. Yeah, when we accidentally hit it, it falls on the ground. Everyone's making fun of me for coughing a minute ago there. Who's downloading all those illegal movies? Someone asked about Dirty River Sunday rides. Yes. And they're back to every single week, right, Yanda? I know it's not your domain, but...
Yes. Yeah, they all got stung by bees a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, they did all get stung by bees. And then we rode we hit those same tracks on the Wednesday ride a couple days later, and we had no issues. But again, we were out there in the evening, so maybe the bees
Well, I
already
think
called back.
probably somebody hit the nest, and then
Yeah.
they all came out.
Someone pissed them off, yeah. Bees don't just go after you for no reason.
Well, they're not
Oh,
bees. They
Yellow
are, like,
jackets.
wasps.
Yeah.
So they do go after you for no reason because they're not bees. If they were bees, they would just leave you alone because they can't be bothered. So this little box is filled with oil.
Oh,
Lubes up the nipples.
push that up to the camera.
And then I shake them and they go down in those grooves and they're all sitting the right direction. So the
Would you-
bottom's filled with oil.
Would you say you shake it like a Polaroid picture?
You could say that, I guess, if that's what you're into. Maybe you could shake it like a salt shaker.
Yeah.
I made this.
Oh, really? That's a Yanda
printed
made
it.
custom?
Yeah, I printed it.
Oh, this is 3D printed.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, there's like a million versions out there. Everybody's, posted pictures of theirs.
Michael Stark said, if getting a wheel build, what's the general amount of time that should take? Is it a 1 to 2 week job, depending on the amount of repairs in the shop? So
Yep.
that would just be very dependent on the shop, right?
It's gonna depend on a lot of stuff. Like I don't build wheels at the shop. Like I build them at home.
So you can watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah. No, because there's just not time to sit there and lay all this shit out and build wheels in the shop. So like this is all my personal stuff. I didn't bring stuff from the shop. So it depends on like the rim availability, hub availability. Yeah, there's just a bunch of factors.
Do you know a Danny Boyle? He said Yanda built my wheels and I absolutely love them. I'm a bigger guy and it's nice having wheels that can take the
Yes.
abuse.
I believe I built him a set of DT Swiss FR 541s, I think. He'll put it in the chat. I believe that's what I built for him.
I was actually, someone, Dimitri was saying how a guy riding a fat bike on a paved multi-use trail, but, and he was way over bike for sure. I was thinking, and there's a comment on the latest video I haven't responded to yet, but a guy who was moving to the UP and the latest video was kind of about tire size anyways. And like we were just saying, if you live somewhere like that where they actually groomed snow trails in the winter and it's really sandy, I would probably have a fat bike around here. I just wouldn't ride it enough, especially now with our winters getting so mild. I just prefer throwing studs on something. And we have, there's one place that grooms trails, but we don't even have that much snow, so.
Yeah, Punderson grooms.
Yeah. And I think
I mean, Punderson's in the snow belt. Like they get.
Oh, Punderson is in the snow
They
belt.
get way more snow than we do consistently.
Or if you live near somewhere like West Branch.
But Punderson's still an hour, like
Yeah.
50 minutes up to there.
But if I don't like driving in the snow. But.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, it's not like super convenient to just pop over
Yeah.
there.
If you lived over there.
Yeah, like if you,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a fat bike. So.
Yeah. If I lived near West Branch, I think a fat bike would be way more fun to ride at West Branch. It's so rooty and rocky. But
But I also ride a fat bike like as my mountain bike. Like my Wednesday, I have 3 different forks for it, which I pretty much never put the steel one back on. But I have the stock steel fork. I have a Kingpin carbon fork for it, and then I also have a Bluto suspension fork. So like, and I have 3 sets of wheels for it. So I have like a lightweight summer set with like really low tread, like 4-inch Schwalbe Jumbo Jims on them, and that's like a pretty fun all-around tire for fat. But then I also have a set of 29 plus wheels for it, so 29 by 3 or 2.8.
I think definitely,
And with a suspension fork, it's just like a hardtail mountain bike.
and if you're going to drive to the mountain bike trails, fat bikes make total sense to me. The fact that I ride to the mountain bike trails is why I like doing like the ATB type thing with 55s and a full rigid bike. Or I could see owning a bike that had a front fork that locked out. But for me, someone who's going to ride to East Rim or Hampton and rarely get in the car, a fat bike doesn't make sense in this part of Ohio. For me. And it doesn't mean it doesn't make sense for other people. So.
Well, that, I mean, like, especially because of the way you ride, you're going to ride it there. Even if you were going to ride a fat bike there, it's just not practical. Like, for example, this new Moonlander, it's 24-inch by 6.2.
Yeah, that's the, yeah.
So I'm sure the tires are probably like 150, 160 bucks a piece, at least. You're gonna ride that to the pavement to
you're not,
to the
obviously.
trail and shred $1,000 worth of tires a summer.
Yeah.
Like,
no way.
Exactly.
You only want that on.
Like that's why I have a set of fat wheels that my studded tires live on. Because with tubeless, it's such a pain in the ass to just swap a tire. I just change the wheels because we don't have consistent enough snow. And the Wrath Lords are $275 a piece or something. So unless there's snow on the ground, I'm not putting the tires on the ground because they were too expensive to buy the first time.
Okay.
Never mind just wasting them, just riding them on dry pavement.
Yeah. I do think too that, and I underestimated this. I got it just knowing you guys at Dirty River. I've tried a couple bikes that have come into the shop, like the more high-end fat bikes. Every fat bike is not a total dog. You know what I mean? There are some fat
all
bikes
over the map.
Yeah, like that old Surly Ben has. Like he said, it's hard to ride. It's so slow.
Oh, the Pugsley, yeah.
It's
so
a Pugsley. It's a
first gen Pugsley, offset
gen
fork.
Pugsley. Yeah.
Marges, not even Marge lights, so they're like solid rims, like solid double wall fat bike rims, like the worst real fat bike rims you could get. Like I'm saying, not like Walmart fat bike, but like real fat bike rims.
Yeah.
They have machined brake tracks on them because Surly thought rim brakes might still fucking be a thing on a fat bike.
That's a pretty early bike though, so
Yeah.
it's not crazy. Yeah, but
So yeah, just stuff has changed so much because like, I mean, I have a
look. What are those?
I have a first year Wednesday, which they haven't really changed them outside of color,
Yeah.
but it's night and day different from what a Pugsley was.
And then some of those carbon ones Otis had, but Salsa, he had that really. Is that a
Yeah,
carbon?
we've had a bunch of carbon bear greases and formerly Mucklucks, now Heydays or He Days or whatever the fuck it is. Since apparently Muckluck's offensive to somebody.
Oh, really? Huh.
Everything's offensive to somebody, so
They
fuck
said-
them all and just say what you like.
Frank Shea said Yanda is obviously not a big Outcast fan. That was back to the Shake It. I need to catch up on some of these.
First of all, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Oh, I thought you just super chatted, but I missed it. I had my volume off.
And give him a rim job. Banana, aubergine, corn, baguette.
Caught the end of that one, Pudgy. Lard said ASMR nipple play. Oily nipple cam outvotes the widely popular Edmund cam. Oh yeah, Dimitri though, you were a fixed guy, right? He said he did 2 years on 25mm Connie GP 4000, commuting to work all year in the rain and the snow.
Oh, I used to do that dumb shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
still people who swear by riding snow on skinny tires because it cuts through. So.
Yeah, I rode year round on 23C, like fucking dual compound racing tires on a fixed gear, brakeless, and it was fucking stupid. Like.
That's what I was trying to say in the video. Because people always comment like, you could ride all the stuff you guys ride on skinny tires. It's like you can. I used to do it. I don't want to anymore. It doesn't make sense to ride down the Route 8 gravel on 28s.
Yeah.
I used to do it, and then I also brought in my wheels to have Otis True them every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, what damage was I doing to a frame that was made to, ride the road? But Stephanie said I have a fat tire bike because it was one of the cheapest e-bikes you could find and it looked different. Then Peekaboo said I have a normal bike, but when I get on it, it's a fat bike. Stephanie said gets more flat tires on the fat bike than the 40mm tire bike. Huh. Is that,
Well, you said it was a fat e-bike?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you ride a motorcycle.
It's just the torque.
With bicycle parts on it. Well, no, you're going faster, so you're probably not paying attention as much to what you're riding over.
Yeah.
Because you can't look at where you're riding over. You got to look where you're fucking going,
Yeah.
or you're going to eat shit. So there's probably more factors at play than just it's a fat bike.
Yeah. Kevin, what's up? Kevin said the dark arts of wheel building. I hope you did the prerequisite sacrifices of big box store bikes for good mojo.
BSOs.
Rim brakes on a
BSOs.
fat bike wheel. Yeah, I think I have a really early YouTube video of Ben riding that bike in the snow. Let me see if I can find it. I'll pop it up for a second. That's the only thing I'll pop up.
Well, that bike's been passed around through the rats.
That was Andy White's, right?
Yeah, and I think it was also given to him before that. So it's like kind of like the unwritten, unspoken rule. You can't sell it.
Yeah,
Like it's
kind of what we do amongst friends. If someone gives you a bike, you can pass it along, but you don't like put it on the open market or whatever. So. Let's see, that was Winter Summer Lake. Let me see if it comes up. It was one of my first winter rides too. Oh, it didn't search across my channel. That's weird.
Well, the one time we actually did get snow last year, though, for Ratsmith, it was pretty snowy on the towpath.
Yeah, that was a.
I wasn't sad to have 4.5-inch studded fat tires for that ride.
No, and there was also spots where the
because the
footprints
bridges were so frozen.
Yeah, the footprints were frozen into the bridges. That's
Yeah.
when fat bikes, to smooth some of that out, would be great.
But that was the only time I rode my studded tires all year last year. It's one time. So
I think I only rode my winter bike twice last summer. So why is it not? Come on, none of these other things have.
but I mean, maybe we'll get hammered with some snow this year.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple winters we got like 3 foot of snow that stuck around. Was that
Yeah,
3 years
That's
ago?
true. Yeah.
I had like a groomed fat bike racetrack at
That's
my
right.
house. I think there's pictures of it floating around somewhere.
William Ron said would love to get a second set of 29 plus wheels for the 2014 Surly Pugsley. The back end is offset. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I have all the adapters. I can build those.
There you go, William. But I
Yeah,
never
I have
know.
the old Moonlander, since now we have to differentiate,
Yeah.
and Pugsley offset wheel building fittings, so I can build wheels for those.
I really didn't notice that crazy offset. So if you guys have never seen this, I was trying to find the video, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
Look
so
up that. What
I
is it?
believe it's 17 millimeters on the Pugsley, and I think it's 27 millimeters
Oh,
on
really?
the Moonlander.
I haven't seen an old Moonlander, but I never noticed it. I was filming
Well, if
with
you
the.
pull up
Yeah.
Pugsley wheel building adapter, it's just like a little red chunk of aluminum. That's how far off center the hub is. It clamps on the end of the axle so that you put it in a stand like this and center the rim like you normally would, but it comes out offset. Yeah.
So is that red anodized?
Yeah, so that clamps on the end of the axle, and your rim is centered on that much offset. So then there's also a Moonlander one. And what does it say? Does it say 17 millimeter?
I'm on the image now. It doesn't say.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're dropping frames again. Sorry, guys. Let's see if it says what the offset is. 35 millimeter wide spacer aids and dishing.
Yeah, so half of that would be 17 and
Yeah.
a half millimeters. Yeah, so that's how you get your offset.
But it looks wild when you see one of those for the
Yeah.
first time. Because I never noticed it. Then I filmed a video of Ben with the GoPro going backwards, and then when I went and watched it back, I'm like, "What the hell is going on with this bike?" In
Yeah.
person, I didn't pay. You're talking
Yeah,
to someone,
because
you don't pay any attention.
the whole 170/177, 190, 197 kind of hub standards hadn't come about, so they were still on 135 millimeter quick release mountain bike hubs. So the offset was how they were able to clear the cassette around the tire.
Damn, we're buffering again. But they said the audio stays when it buffers, right? So, yeah, sorry about the pictures, guys, but it'll hopefully come back. This is all from YouTube. It's not from us. So, but we still got our audio. Sorry, Pudgy, I talked over your super chat.
It's still going. It's just choppy.
Yeah, it's gonna be choppy for a minute. We haven't really. I haven't figured out what I can do about it. So I don't want to start a new stream. Hey, what's up, Purse 100? One of our newest channel members. I saw you joined a couple days ago, so I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely choppy. Sorry, guys. Oh, Pudgy asked me about that Swift bag again. I keep forgetting to. Do you know what those Swift bag frame bags look like with the cable routing underneath the gunner? Do you think that would be an issue if I wanted that to stay in place? Gunner's
gunner?
upstairs, unfortunately. But it's got the cable routing goes underneath the top two, or the top
Are those open cables on that?
Yeah.
We could just put them in a piece of sleeve. It would
That's
be
what Pudgy
fine.
said. That's one of the things is that when they're open, why did they put open cables on the bottom of a top tube on a touring adventure bike?
Because that's how it was ordered.
But that's the only thing he changed on the standard build on that was having a internal dropper routing and boost spacing. So that's how they build that bike.
You can ask
I just
for
think it's a
whatever-
bad idea.
You can ask for whatever you want.
Yeah. So you think it's Otis's fault?
You can ask for whatever you want. It was custom bike.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still not getting past the buffering, huh?
I hate buffering. Probably a lot of Devil Wears Prada fans in the audience.
Hey, what's up, Michael? How's it going tonight? David said, I need to try this fat bike and winter snow thing. Yeah. Depending on where you live, I think, especially if you got groomed trail, like Minneapolis, I would have a fat bike for sure. You know, when you look at all the trails out there around the lakes and in the parks, UP, like I said, they groom trails. Even normal Michigan up by,
Yeah.
I said, we saw all these signs for the groom. Marquette, yeah.
has like massive clubs. Like some of the guys up there like invented most of the equipment that's used to groom fat bike trails.
Dirty River. So Otis said external cables shift better. Yeah, because they don't have any friction, right? So, but like, look at my vintage truck right there, 2001. They go on the top of the top tube. So if you need to shoulder the bike, you're not rubbing them on the frame. And if you need to put a frame bag on, you can put the straps underneath the cables then.
Yeah, but your frame bag's not going to squeeze up onto your cables when it hangs down. I'd say
But those Swift ones are pretty stiffer than a lot of.
it'd be fine.
All right.
And you just put cable sleeving on it. It'll shift just fine. I doubt you'll even notice it.
Oh, I notice things. That's what I do.
I'm gonna stand behind my original statement.
Just not things with wheels, apparently.
Can't figure out why it won't hold air. Giant hole where the valve's supposed to go. Oh.
I do like the way exposed looks. Like, I do like it on that truck because all three of them go across the top, and I think it does look cool. But I'm trying to think, do I have any of the vintage bikes show exposed? Not really. They're all housed across. Now the,
Well, no, it would just be
the Riviera has it on the side where it's exposed, actually.
Most of them
Which is
have the
cheapest
brake
one.
cable along the top tube, and then the shift cables go on the down tube.
Yeah. The vintage, the 89 stump jumper has it exposed, but it's on the top side.
Yeah, that's because you get shit sprayed all over your cables and they don't shift.
Yeah.
That's why mountain bikes have cables up high.
But look, the other one's out around the bottom bracket.
Which one?
Look at that vintage stump jumper is the pink and white one. It's over the top tube and then under the down tube.
Yeah, that was before they knew how mountain bikes were supposed to work.
Yeah, that's why they designed them with that kind of horrible geometry. I do joke around about a lot of people like fixing up. I feel like you could fix up a 90s mountain bike if you put a shorter stem and bump stuff on if you're a shorter rider. But for tall riders, even large,
They ride like shit.
I think that. But if you're shorter and you buy
Yeah,
a
if you're
bigger,
tiny.
if you're shorter and you buy like a large, like
Yeah.
90s mountain bike, then it has almost like modern gravel bike geometry. But if you're tall like me, you have to do a lot, and then they handle
And
weird.
it still doesn't have disc brakes.
Well, you don't need disc brakes.
My 4-year-old has disc brakes on her bike.
I'll tell you what, dude. Those
Look
and
up
this is
the
not, of
Radio
course-
Zuma 14.
Yeah.
That's
We're-
what she rides.
We're not talking mountain bikes, but then the 9-speed Dura-Ace brakes on that vintage Peloton there are amazing, and those aren't even like the direct mount stuff they make now. So there's rim brakes that are really damn good, and they have had
Yeah,
really
until
damn.
they get wet and dirty, which is the only way you ride.
I do ride a lot of wet and dirty.
Exhibit A. There's still moisture coming out of these rims, so they're wet.
Are you already moving spokes over?
I'm almost done moving spokes over.
Oh, really? So that wheel's almost built? Well, then
No.
you'll get into dishing and
Then
tensioning?
tensioning and yeah.
Are you someone? So I've seen this thing, and I'll get back into the comments in a second. Who can tell tension by like the note it plays if you ding it with your hand?
No one can tell tension by the note it
So
plays.
that's a myth.
You can tell the difference between the spokes next
Tension
to
between
it.
around.
Yeah, which is important.
Yeah.
So like if you quickly want to go through a wheel and see if there's a big deviation between spokes that are next to each other, it's a pretty effective way to do it. But if you're going to tell me you can say, oh, that's 127 kgf, fuck off. You're lying.
Because I'm someone who played in a band for years, but I'm not tone deaf, but I can't play by ear.
Well,
I
but
play and I can't tune my guitar very well. So when people say that stuff, I'm like, man, that would not do anything for me.
Yeah, but you also have to, because we were being economical when we rebuilt these are bladed spokes. Actually, technically, they're elliptical spokes. They're not flat blades.
Really?
Yeah, so these are going to sound, at the same exact tension, these will sound completely different than these.
So you couldn't. Oh, so yeah, it's not a universal.
Yeah.
It's not a D minor.
And then you're saying and to say even spokes that are the same dimension, like a DT competition, which is a 1.8 center section, 2 millimeters at either end, and a Supreme race is a 1.8 center section, 2 millimeters at either end, are not the same fucking spoke. They're different material. They'll read slightly different on different tensiometers. I have this, which is just so that I can drop it while I'm building wheels and not have to worry about it.
That's your accurate measurement. That's the tool you use.
This is not an accurate measurement. This is just to get everything kind of close while I'm building.
Ah. Oh, yeah, we got the big guns in here.
When I want to actually know what it is.
Is this some kind of digital thing?
Well,
we got a phone case over here.
It comes in non-digital, but I do have the digital version.
Dave, can you camera us on this? Oh, he's got it, yeah.
Then I use this. So this is a calibrated Wheel Fanatic spoke tensiometer. Then if I really want to be fancy, I can plug all this shit into it and plug it into a computer and put all your spoke tensions on your computer. But you didn't pay for that option, so.
I'm not paying for any option. This is a
Exactly.
warranty build.
The materials are warranted.
No, Otis said he was warrantying your time, too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, wow, you're not even drinking. Did you quit?
What? No, I just didn't bring any beers. I forgot.
Oh, I have hazy IPAs if you want one.
No.
No, I didn't think so. The drive-thru across the street is closed, or I'd run over and get you some.
Fucking communists. And then I don't know where all my cards are, or I would show them to you. I have a bunch of cards that list off what the numbers are supposed to be on this.
Yeah, so how do you know what the tension on a spoke is supposed to be?
Because you have a chart that tells you.
So is it based on the wheel size and the spoke count?
No, just the dimensions of the spoke.
How long the spoke is?
No, how thick the spoke is.
How thick the spoke is.
So, it could be wide direction and thin direction though on like a bladed spoke. So you need to know both those numbers. I don't know where all my cards are. I don't care that much. I just look them up on the website when I need them.
Real modern man.
It's all on Wheel Fanatics website. Anything you need to know. They are the Morizumi spoke machine, spoke cutting and threading machine importer now to the US. They're also the PK and Y importer. So go to their website, look at PK and Y trimming stand. Owner alert. That is a trimming stand. The new Abbey trimming stand is also pretty sweet. Thinking about.
Peekaboo asked if we're building these wheels 3x, so that wouldn't really matter with the wheel build because that's just going to be what.
That's the spoke crosses, is what he's asking.
I guess. Oh, would that affect the dish if you were gonna? Not
No.
really, right?
Well, they're already built. Like I'm just moving spokes
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. So this is getting the same group set, which is a 2x group set. So.
What? No, he's talking about spoke crossing, not.
Oh,
How
3x
the
that.
spokes are laced.
So
Gotcha. The lacing.
I
thing.
think I built these 3 cross rear and 2 cross front last time.
I got you guys now. Yes, I know you.
No, they're 3 cross, 3 cross. Yeah, they're both 3 cross. So yeah.
Both 3 cross. So yep. Yes. But you
And
said
that was determined because those are the spokes we had when we built these wheels last time.
yeah, because we didn't have. I remember we ended up going with the bladed or the elliptical, as you're saying, just
We
because,
just went with what we already had. I
Yeah.
didn't order any spokes for these wheels.
which is
last
also nice though, because the bladed, I just chopped through the grass now.
Oh yeah, real lawnmower up there.
Yeah, real. Yeah. I edge the alley behind the studio with these things. Pudgy said old mountain bike was designed around short TT and long stem. Yeah, but still the top tubes aren't even that short on some. They're such a
Well,
weird,
compared to a modern mountain bike, they are.
yeah, because they have such a
They're
that's
super long now.
how people are talking about riding the frozen creeks up in Michigan for sure. Rim brakes are disc brakes.
Until you get them wet.
Get a tuning fork. I've got the old Raleigh fork. Yeah, that plays a gross note. That is a heavy overbuilt fork.
I think it's just heavy. I don't think it's actually that strong.
Yeah, maybe not. I was thinking they overbuilt it though because it was an early disc brake for gravel.
Probably overbuilt it because it was a cheap fork.
Yeah.
And it's expensive to make things that are strong and light.
Yeah.
To be
I don't-
strong, light, and cheap, pick 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, but don't you also think that like in 2014 there were not a lot of gravel bikes with disc brakes? So I was
No,
thinking,
but there was a shitload of bikes with disc brakes.
true.
I mean, it was still 20-year-old tech at that point.
In mountain biking, not in
Yeah.
drop bar bikes.
Well, but it doesn't matter. The stresses were understood by that point.
Yeah, but do you think a company like Raleigh knows that?
Well, they should have.
Yeah, they should have, but
They were making a lot of disc brake bikes that whole time.
that ship was already going down.
It's true. They were like on the doorstep of direct to consumer when
Yeah.
that bike came out.
That's the last good thing they made. I think they updated it once, right? A decent version after that. I think they made a version 2 of the Tamland 2. Did they? Maybe.
I don't know. The year that bike came out was the last year I went to Interbike. And Raleigh had a really weird booth because I think the scent of death was in the air.
David said, I think this is back to the spoke sound. One is thunky and one is tinky. You could quickly find which ones are not. So.
Talking about building wheels, not fixing your garbage in your basement.
That Park Tool spoke tool is great, and I agree. It's a tool to get into the ballpark, but for us
It's not-
bike hacks, it's fine. So if you're just like roughly building wheels and you're not a nerd about it, is what he means, I think.
You could get stuff pretty consistent, but I will say, like, Velocity, for example, you can get yourself into some trouble. Because that tensiometer, especially you get into like a bladed or elliptical spoke like this, it's just not real accurate. And you could pretty easily over-tension a wheel. And Velocity really don't pull it with that. They crack. The rim beds crack if you over-tension them.
Do you mean?
I mean, they crack anyways.
You mean just on the ailerons, or?
No, all of them. Yeah, we've had cliffhangers break. We've had.
I think I said this before we came on. I don't think I said it on the stream, but picking up the front aileron, it's surprisingly how light of an alloy. There's a lot of metal in there. It's not a, it's a fairly deep rim. So.
I mean, we could cut one in half. There's not that much metal in them.
Well, I mean, they're deep rims. They're not like.
Yeah, but they're really thin.
They're really
probably
thin.
A lot thinner than you think they are.
Fluke 323 subscribed to the channel.
Do you have a hacksaw? Do you want to cut one in half?
No, let's stick to the task at hand. William LeBron said, question for Yanda. Is it a good idea to put oil on the nipples when truing wheels after winter riding?
Yes.
Yes. Always?
Yeah.
Anytime you're truing wheels, or only once in a while?
I mean, you could do it. I mean, we do it every time because most of the bikes that we see at the shop haven't seen any care in a while.
No one's oiled those nipples.
Exactly. But yeah, it's not a bad thing to just put a couple drops of tri-flow on each nipple.
I think if Otis has told me I should lube my nipples once in a while.
Yeah, especially if you ride in the winter. So if you ride in the winter, every time you wash your bike off, you should probably put 1 drop of tri-flow on every nipple.
So would you, from the outside, you could just drop it when it's at the bottom position?
Yeah,
and
just
then
1 drop where the
keep slowly
spoke goes into the nipple, 1 drop where the nipple goes into the rim. And that should probably be enough.
We were talking a little bit about the corrosion on these, and so since our winter was so mild last year, that my bike, my Raleigh, I usually don't ride that much in the winter. I go to the winter bike, but since they were just salting the roads, but then we didn't have a lot of snow, this bike probably saw more snow than it, or more, not snow, more winter and salt riding than it ever had before. So, but like you said, it looks like the damage is on the inside, so it's more likely the sealant.
Yeah.
Let's see, Racer. Hey, what's up, Racer? Would a rim brake pad made instead with a material similar to a disc brake pad be feasible? I think the problem is it wear out the rim too much, right?
Yeah, they tried stuff like that with like the Mavic ceramic rims, where they had like a really hard ceramic coating on the rim and like a special brake pad. They just made a fucking shitload of noise, and they were always just really annoying to deal with. The other problem is, like, you can't make rims that hard because then they're brittle and they just crack.
Plus, I mean, I guess the other thing with like rim brake pads is you have so much more leeway for them to be thick, and they have so much more room to wear out, right? Whereas discs don't. So it's not.
Well,
really...
I think they were more referring to the friction that you get out of a disc brake in wet conditions.
Oh, gotcha. So they sprayed some stuff on them instead of spraying nothing on them? I'm not sure what used bikes was asking there. Do you remember that reference, Dave? I'm going to have to start making projects out of my... I am going to miss the shininess, because they do look cool on that bike, especially with the gum walls, but... These look more like my blunts do, which match the gunner really nice, but...
I'll make you a clock out of them, I don't know what to tell you.
It's better to have rims that aren't going to wear out. Aren't going to break as fast, so... Or corrode as fast, whatever the deal is. I asked Otis if he wanted to reach out to Velocity to see if they wanted to have anything to do with like a video or a stream, because I don't want you dunk on them in any way.
I mean, I think they're fine. I mean,
They're affordable American wheel sets that are fairly light.
no, I think the problem with these was combination of sealant and salt. I don't think it was a manufacturing. Like I don't think they're garbage. I think they were just.
Okay.
I
Plus,
think,
we tend to ride a little harder than a lot of people.
I think the mixture of it was multiple factors. It's a polished rim, so it doesn't have quite the corrosion protection of an anodized rim. More salt exposure than maybe is normal for. I mean, they're also made in Michigan. Like, it's not like they don't know what salt is.
Yeah.
We got plenty of it up there. I mean, we're the kings of it.
So used bike was saying to do salt damage. So then we weren't saying spraying. We're saying like dripping like tri-flow onto the nipples after you, or just once in a while, basically. So dripping something on there to help protect them. It's just kind of like you would lube or grease anything, I think is what he's.
I think they're talking about that, or just the anodized versus.
Oh, yeah. So the anodizing process is don't you anodize by dropping them in like an electromagnetic type thing?
I wouldn't say magnetic.
Oh.
So there's a current. I mean, it depends what you're anodizing. We're talking about aluminum here.
Yeah.
So it would,
Anodizing aluminum. So let's stick with that.
yeah. So you would have an acid etch bath that cleans the aluminum, then a current that goes through the rim or the piece, and it goes into an electrolyte solution with electricity running through it. That builds up a layer of aluminum oxide on the aluminum. And then if it's going to be dyed a color, then it goes into a tank of color, which gets soaked into that layer while it's still open, is what they call it. Then it goes into a sealing bath, which seals that color in. And then they get washed and they sit there and that's it.
But it's a chemical process. It's not a spraying on. This is not like.
No, you
paint
don't spray it on. Yeah, it's a chemical,
It's a chemical
reaction.
process. Yeah,
Yeah.
chemical reaction. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Anodizing is a chemical reaction, basically, that you're doing that adds the coating, would you say?
Yeah, you could call it a coating.
Which Velocity does some really cool ones.
Yeah.
Micah's rims are stunning on his Atso. Yeah, on the Atso. Yeah. They got kind of, what would you call that? They're like,
They're a pink purple fade.
yeah.
Multicolor.
There was some really cool, I don't know if you watched any of the coverage of the Made bike shows, but there was a couple bikes that they had anodized that were really, really cool.
Well, most of that stuff is titanium.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Yeah,
titanium.
that's totally different.
Different process.
Yeah, so titanium is anodized purely by the voltage, DC voltage that's run through the electrolyte solution is what determines the color.
So are they masking that when they're just anodizing
you put
logos
what-
into it?
You could call it masking. They put what's called a resist on. So it's like, I mean, some people just use whiteout. So if the electricity can't touch it, it doesn't get anodized. So, I mean, I don't know if they're on my Instagram. Let me look.
There was a guy there who was like, they were saying he's the guy who anodizes for a ton of
Agave?
titanium companies. I can't remember his name.
Agave Finish Works is like the end all be all.
I bet it
to-
was. It
to
was made, so it makes sense that it was him. That sounds familiar.
I mean, he
I bet it
does
was
like a lot of
Agave.
his own stuff. I mean, people send him frames. I don't know that what he does for other companies.
I mean, I'll look him up so I can pull it up. Agave on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't have.
Agave Finish Works?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think this is it. Well, I don't see any made stuff, but that doesn't mean they made a.
I mean, a
Hard-
lot of people are doing
hard
titanium
post, as the kids
anodizing
say.
right now. I do it. So, like,
Oh yeah, this has got to be it. Like look how he has like the crack stuff in there. It's really cool. Some tumbleweed.
Yeah,
bikes.
so he puts like
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff on it. He does the stars and planets and stuff. That's kind of like
Yeah.
his deal.
These are beautiful.
Yeah. So like these are wolf tooth cages that I did for Ames. Can you see that?
Oh wait, let me switch over to you. Go back. Oh yeah.
They're not on Instagram. I probably should have, but I did those. Those are on Ames's race bike.
Dylan says, I think you would like the XE version of Cushcore, Tim. I run them in the front and rear with the Renair's 2.2 tires. It makes it feel more supportive, but still have that initial soft air pocket. Yeah.
The CX ones will fit in these rims. The XC. ones
Would they
are too
protect the
wide for
rims from dents? Because if not,
Yeah.
what do I need them for?
Yeah, that's what they're for.
I don't like the idea.
Well, they're to protect your rims from dents.
Yeah, just like
Well, you can. You've got a couple options. You could run a little more pressure. You could become a way better bike handler. Or you could run Cushcore.
or by being a way better bike handler, I think you mean just not riding with like Ben's routes because I'm a really
No.
good bike handler.
No. If you were smoother.
Smoother.
If you were smoother.
How do you go smoother over railroad gravel?
Well, I'm a fat fuck. And I ride the same places you guys do. I don't dent rims.
You don't ride at the
Because-
same place we go at the speeds we do it in the dark.
Well, if I'm going downhill, I'm going a lot faster because I have a lot more gravity.
What are you meowing about, Edmund?
Here, let me. You don't have. How do I share this to your computer?
This is a PC. You don't share. You email it to me.
All right,
No, you
so-
put it in the Discord. Put it in the Discord.
Oh fuck! I have to log into Discord.
You have to you log out of things.
If you haven't signed in like 2 app updates, you're just not signed in. And I don't use Discord ever, so that's. Wait, Strava.
How about thread nipple protection with a poly coating? Daniel asked. Does that make any sense to you?
Wait, what?
You can only think of one thing at a time. Sorry, Yanda.
No, I didn't hear what the question
How
was.
about thread nipple protection with a poly coating?
Yeah, but I mean that's the problem is you get grit in the nipples, and it wears that coating off.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So like I build pretty much like these were built with this here. Show them this. That's a PTFE based like spoke prep made by Wheel Fanatic.
So this is basically what we're talking about. It is a coating, but
Yeah, it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
It's for while you're building up, and then I mean it does significantly help with spokes getting stuck.
yeah.
Makes a huge but only hand built wheels are gonna have this. Like if you're gonna unbuild the wheel to do that, the 99% of the wheels out there aren't even worth unbuilding. Like once you take it apart, just throw it out.
Benjamin says, I've dented my ailerons. They still work and are fine.
Yep.
My last set, I dented so bad that they became hard to seal, I think was part of the problem, right? You got
Yeah,
another-
well, it wasn't the dents that were the problem in the last set. It was there's.
They're cracks.
Yeah, there's cracks in the spoke bed at the nipples, which it might have actually been the other one that was
Yeah.
cracked really bad, and this one just had 1 or 2 cracks in it.
Can't remember.
'Cause I think, well, this also has a crack at the dent, like that. The rim is
Oh,
cracked
yes.
like it was hit
So-
so hard that the
Whoops, I got on the wrong camera. Sorry, guys.
camera too.
So, GoPros don't focus close, but that is not a mark in that decal. That is actually dented so hard that it's cracked in the rim. So, you could hear those spokes he was talking about. Let me see if I could. You could see how far that is pushed in, maybe. But no, it's on this side.
There, now it's on my Instagram if you want to look at that.
Cool. But you could see how. I'll pull that up now. You can see how that line is pretty bad. So.
Yeah.
And I think around the valve it's pretty corroded too.
Well, that's That's on your old one.
This is 2 generations ago.
Yeah. That's Otis's original rim.
Which he said were 2017, by the way.
Okay, yeah, so.
Yeah, not as old as.
Yeah, not as old. But I mean, you guys break shit at least double the rate of like your average cyclist.
Well, we ride bikes. We ride trails that were never made for bikes.
Well, not for road bikes.
See what we got going on with the comment. Dylan says, it's not just for rim dents. The cushion of the air ramps. The cushion of the air ramps up more. So without, it's kind of like a linear ramp until you smash the rim. With push core, the tire feels firmer the deeper into compression.
Okay, so I'll explain to you this because I can tell by the tone you have no idea what he's
No
saying.
idea. I couldn't even make that sound like an English
So
sentence.
they take
I
up-
sound like I'm reading that. I
they
sound like
take
I'm
up
reading English for
volume.
the first time.
They take up volume inside of the tire.
Yeah. Yes.
So you have less air in the tire. So when the tire starts squeezing down, when you're squeezing, I'm telling you.
A camera.
I'm telling you, not them. When you start squeezing that tire down, the pressure increases faster. Like if you sit on that bike with a air gauge on the valve and bounce up and down, the air moves. If there's less volume being compressed by the same amount of weight, the air pressure goes up faster.
That doesn't reduce suppleness, though?
No, because you can run less pressure. So your initial, like, we'll say 20-30% of travel is softer, and then it acts like you're running maybe 5 or 10 psi more once you get deeper into the squish of the tire.
Gotcha.
It works the same way volume reducing spacers and a fork work, which you don't mountain bike or use suspension, so you don't know what that means. But if somebody else is out there does, volume reducing spacers and a fork do the exact same thing.
Why did they put cush core in cars then?
They do.
What?
I mean, it's not called cush core.
Ever seen a Tesla tire?
Yep. Tesla tires are filled with this like weird foam shit.
Bunch of nerds.
Yeah, is this some Cybertruck bullshit?
Oh, I've never taken a tire off a Cybertruck, but I've taken a tire off of an S, a 3, and a Y.
Was it also avoiding ghost people when you drove it?
I didn't drive it, I was fixing tires on it. They are a real bitch to patch though, because you gotta peel all that fucking foam out of there.
Yeah.
And then put a plug in it, then glue all the foam back down.
Yeah,
but
what-
the foam's
what-
there for a totally different reason.
What happens if
So the
you
foam's-
actually do flat out a cush core? Didn't you have to pull the cush core out and put a tube in it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not really any different if you have to pull a tire off to put a tube in anyways. You pull one bead off, you rip the cush core out, and then you put a tube in. You really have to fuck up though. They make it a lot harder to totally destroy a tire. But we should put them in your bike so that you can find a way.
I've heard this like debate about. So I worked at a car wash for a long time. So did Dave. That's how we met, actually. Used bike said if you leave your road salt used bike outside, so a bike that gets covered in road salt outside, it'll last longer too because it doesn't thaw and turn into brine and then get recoated. No, because people say salt doesn't
Definitely not true.
It's not true because it's still with the
Unless it's like
Stays
well
cold.
the fuck below freezing.
unless it stays frozen. Yes.
Yeah.
If it freeze thaws outside,
But
even
it's
above
still
32, it's gonna have.
But it's still exposed to air.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're preserving Titanic wreckage, 20,000 feet under the sea with no light or oxygen. It's just in salt water.
Yeah.
Like it's still in air.
And again, I also think some of this stuff is going to be marginal. You know what I mean? People make a lot of comments about certain things where it's like, in a lab, that's true. You know what I mean? And
Racer had a good point though.
What did
If
Racer
you're
say?
super worried about it, you don't want to wash your bike every
Wash
time.
your bike.
Wash your bike.
Oh,
But get like a garden pump. All you gotta do is just neutralize the salt. You're neutralizing it. So just spray whatever.
Well, it's not whatever.
Well,
so you can get the stuff you
yeah,
put in a
don't
garden
use-
sprayer. It's you probably have to order on Amazon because we don't live in Florida. But it's super popular in Florida because people take their boats out of the ocean all the time, and you just
Yeah.
spray it down the bike with it. But yeah, people use it for spraying down boat trailers and boat motors and all that shit down along the coast where they're in salt water a lot. But you could also just wash the bike too.
one good thing.
Depends on where you're at, though.
So my winter bike. So one thing for me is, I do wash. Like when I bring my, that's a 2001 truck that has been through everything, and it's still running the original group set. So I know you guys give me shit, but I actually do take care of my bikes to a pretty good degree. And when I have a, but I'm lucky. I live in this, where we are right now is a 1920s big basement with floor drains. So when I bring that thing in, when it's covered in all that stuff, I hose it down, I dry it off. I'll even sometimes, I used to, I don't do this much anymore, would hit like certain spots with WD-40, wipe that off, and then re-lube it, you know, so, and it's still lasting, you know, it's still running. Original wheels, original group set, all the cables obviously have been changed over 1 million times.
Not 1 million times, maybe 10.
Yeah. Not even that many, probably 3. But so, and I mean, it's
I've
not,
definitely put 2 sets of cables on
Yeah.
the bike.
you can see they're mismatched. Yeah, because we switched the bars out, so
We just
I'm running corner bars on it now.
usually when we
Fellow
do
orange
something,
happy stem. So
usually when we do something on that bike, it's just to keep it going. It's not like the best full-on possible
Yeah.
repair. It's just
I'm super like, I am really intense about the Rowley. That's my baby. If it's been in salt, that's why I was saying I didn't think salt was the problem with these rims, because
But I think the mild winter really tricked everyone
yeah,
because they were salting regardless.
yeah. Oh no, I
They
saw
don't
the
give a
powder,
shit.
the Y-bridge.
Yeah.
It's covered in
It's
powder.
white, yeah.
But I come back,
Which is
and
also why the Y-bridge is literally falling apart.
yeah. Oh yeah, the steel is just when they put up
The
those fences to
concrete.
keep people from killing themselves.
I know the
Long story
concrete.
if you're not from Akron, but yeah, it's
Every-
crumbling. Yeah.
Every bridge has fences so people don't kill themselves.
Well, it was so old. They put those on later. It didn't used to. I've got photos before. So.
Yeah, Whitebridge didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember I was like,
It had like a handrail.
Yeah. It was, yeah. You could just. I've got great photos of the city because there was nothing blocking the view.
I remember when I first moved to Akron for school, I was doing like some volunteer work. We were cleaning out this guy's house, and he had like 15 bowling balls in the basement. And he's like, "Oh, you can have those. You just have to promise me you're not going to throw them off the Y bridge." I'm like, "Why would I do that?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it used to be a thing. People would steal bowling balls from the bowling alleys
Yeah.
and throw them off the Y bridge because the projects were underneath them."
Elizabeth Park back then. What? Now
And
it's
I
a
was
much
like-
more mixed, nice neighborhood.
I was like,
but-
at no point in my life have I thought about doing that until now. I was like, now I kind of want to throw some bowling balls off a bridge.
it was
The joke about the
Slaves.
unsold pumpkins.
when we had all these, because people asked us, "What are you gonna do with all these pumpkins?" And it was like, these people had been farming down here since 1933. Were buying and growing the right amount of pumpkins. But we used to, the joke for us, because people said that with the bowling ball thing, was we take them over to the Y Bridge and throw them onto Elizabeth Park. But we obviously did not do that. And if we had a wagon or two left, we marked them way down. And then if we had
People from Chagrin Falls come and buy them.
yeah.
Because they go sledding down the big hill in Chagrin Falls on smashed pumpkins the day after Halloween.
If we had
It's
like
like a
one,
big thing every year.
if we had like a half wagon left, we would go throw them in the field.
Yeah,
They're
well,
fertilizer. Yeah.
you could probably get people from Chagrin to buy them. Because that's, I mean, they all have a bunch of farms up there too, but it's like, they bring out snowplows to clean it up. My wife grew up there, that's how I know about that.
Let's see. Chuck Ryder said, "When you ride as much as I do, stuff is going to wear out or break. It's a medal of honor." For sure. And that's definitely, but I don't feel like I got the life I should have out of this wheel set. Or the rims, not the wheel set, because the hubs are totally fine. So, like, I know you said that it was deceiving, but I noticed that. Like, when I went over the rye bridge and I saw it was just full of powdered salt, I came home and I cleaned the rally because I'm like, this is a steel bike and it's my baby. I'm going to clean it off, you know. Anyways.
Yep.
Dylan said, I don't think you could ride XC Cushcore flat, but the Pro you could. Isn't all cycling about marginal gains? Lol. Yeah. I forgot I had a dual camera angle on here. This is pretty nice, huh? Me and Yanda. I forgot these beers were 8%. I might be a little buzzed. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Just means I'm more honest about how right I am. Oh, it's 10:20. You're allowed to cuss, by the way.
Oh yeah.
No, I hear you guys on the Kush Core. I don't.
Kenny's running it. Brad's running it.
I know Brad's running it. That doesn't make it better. See, I told you about the other.
Well,
He also spray painted the coolest looking space horse,
first of all, he had it powder coated.
powder coated. It was the one that
There's
looked
a
like.
big difference between spray painting and powder.
I feel like I need to downgrade what he did because it was the coolest looking space horse they made. It was the cream one with the orange and brown and like highlights that looked like a vintage Peugeot.
Oh, yeah.
But a bunch of people had bought him that year, and then the next year even more did. So he thought like my bike looks like everyone else. But then nobody hung on to those around us, and so he had like the only one, and he had like, and that powder coating job he got didn't hold up that well. Who did that? Call him out, Yanda. Let's put their name. Let's dox them.
Put 'em on blast.
Let's say put them on blast.
Actually, it's a sore subject. I don't know if you know.
I'm not
this.
gonna. No, I was
It
kidding.
was actually a friend who.
I'm actually joking.
Kind of fucked me in the whole deal. So
I don't think it actually turned out as bad as I'm making. I think there was just a couple spots.
No, they messed it up.
Okay, let's dox them.
What's their home address?
Yeah, what's their phone number?
Just don't get anything powder coated in Painesville. We'll put it that way.
So, so this is the rear. So this is
Yeah.
the rear. Could you? I'm gonna put you up on, but I'm really curious to understand dishing because I feel like that's one of the reasons I can never build a wheel. The front doesn't need to be dished, right?
No.
Or what does
All-
because of a disc brake.
Yeah. What are you asking here?
I don't understand like how you can offset a wheel. That's dishing, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it?
I don't get how it works.
Well,
So you have like a cassette on one side or a rim or a
yeah,
disc
rotor.
brake, so the spokes need to be.
I don't understand what you don't understand.
So you're controlling one. So there's a different angle on the spokes on one side than the other, right?
Yeah.
They're just doing that with tension.
No.
What are you doing that with?
The length of the spokes.
Length.
That's why you have different. I mean, there's different tension between the left and the right. But if you don't have the right length spokes, you could change tension all day long, and it's not going to dish the wheel right. Like this, I barely have moved it at all since I tighten everything up to the same depth of thread with this. That's what this little pip on the tip of there,
Yeah.
that focus.
Yeah.
So that sets everything to the same depth. And then I just manually count turns after that and bring everything up to just like a light amount of tension. This wheel is not even close to tight.
Two different lengths. Duh.
Length on so there's a length coming off the one side versus the other side.
These two spokes are not the same length.
How
And
do
that can also be accomplished with hub flange offsets though.
How do you know which ones to get?
Spoke calculators.
Okay.
So
How do you? Oh, you built
I
wheels.
dabbled.
Yeah.
So like I measure the hubs with this, so I know all my offsets. Do you have a loose hub?
Nah, I don't carry loose hubs.
I don't know. You got a lot of shit.
Yeah, I don't think I actually have loose hubs.
Well, you measure your hub flanges with this. Woo, up and down. Can they see that? Yes? No?
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll tell you how far these are from center or the lock nut or whatever. Depending on which spoke calculator you use, some of them want different numbers. Most of them are center to flange, which is the middle to this flange and the middle to this flange. And then I have these, which I use to measure ERD, and these are 200 and
What's ERD?
effective rim diameter.
What's the difference between it? What is the effective rim diameter?
It's the effective rim.
So these are
diameter.
700C.
That's
So,
bead seat diameter.
so this is where the length of the
Yeah.
depth of the rim comes into play.
So pick two spoke holes that are directly across from each other. Can anyone see me? Wait a minute.
Yeah, you could turn it over here a little bit. Yeah.
So you stick these on here, and I set them to the depth that I want the wheel to finish at. So like the spoke is as deep as I want it to be at when the rim is when the wheel is done being built. And then you get another hole directly across from this one. You should probably measure it in a couple spots. But, you know, this is just for demonstration purposes. And these are also the nipples that I build with. So, Sapim, brass, polyax nipples.
So
My
ERD is
calipers are in the car. You
from
have
the
set
inside of
calipers?
the rim
You
to
have set calipers?
Yeah,
I saw 'em over here.
they're actually sitting in that wood box over there, I believe.
My own car. I had to measure a freeze plug on the old Boda the other day. Blew one out. Coolant everywhere.
Oh, they sell Edmund. Didn't they?
Oh, good. The exact same ones I have. Okay. Please don't be dead.
Oh, hey Dave, could you point that camera down a little bit?
So then you take your two spokes. And you wiggle them around until the number stops going down. 51.878. We'll just go with 51.8. So you do 268 times 2, because there's two of them, plus 51.8. What does that give you? Oh my god, just type it into a calculator. You're at a computer. I thought that's what you were doing.
We got. That's what Russian grandma's for. Use Pudgy's words, not mine.
So 587.8 is your effective rim diameter.
Ah,
So that's where the spokes go to.
yes.
So it's the effective diameter. So that's your circle. You're basically calculating two triangles. Two right triangles. So you're calculating the hypotenuse of each triangle. Because you have the right angle leg. I need like a smart board where I can draw this and it comes
Yeah.
up on the screen. So you have your rim, that's one length. Then you have the hub in the middle here. So, I mean, what can be it? Just pretend the middle part's a hub. So you have, this is going up, say this is the center line of the hub, up, say this is the rim, this is the, then you have your pitch circle diameter, which is how big around that circle is. So you subtract that circle from that circle. That's this distance in a straight line, right triangle, 90 degrees.
Gotcha.
So then you have your hub flange offset, which is the distance from here to where the holes are here. So then a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right?
That's the Pythagorean
Yeah,
theory.
yeah. Well, it's a right triangle, so that's what you use. You're getting the hypotenuse, which is this right here. So you know this length because you measured it with that tool over there. You know this length because you calculated it by measuring this circle and by measuring that circle and subtracting the difference. So you know this one, you know this one. So you square this one, add them together, square root them. That's your spoke length. You do the whole thing again for the other side.
Yes.
Or you go to dtswiss.com
And
you
just
type
type
in
your
your numbers and the shit just comes out.
I'm trying to plug all this in to just have the number for me. What hubs are these?
It's not going to come up.
Can you raise the camera real quick for back to? I feel like this.
What calculator are you using?
I feel like you
No
just.
idea.
I feel like the two things you just told me.
Spoke.io,
Pro Wheel Builder.
Pro Wheel Builder. Okay, these are not in Pro Wheel Builder.
I feel like the two things you just told me is a combination of the math. Is two memes. It's one with that woman at the Grammys or whatever with all the numbers around what she's
Yeah.
thinking. Then it's the other one with the guy with like where everything like explodes, like he understands. And I'm in between both of those.
So 58
I've learned
is would be your right pitch circle diameter. My guess is these are probably 58 on both sides. Yes. We really don't need to be doing this. I already calculated the spokes when I built these last time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because now you're doing a straight switch over, so you
Yeah,
don't have to do
they're already
this math,
calculated.
right?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass to measure hub flange offset with them already in there. But these are Velocity. I don't remember the model because they've been changed like probably 3 times since these wheels came out.
Oh, there's a question from Pudgy. Do you prefer solid? It's gonna read that out.
Well, I'm sitting right here.
All right. Do you prefer a solid ass slap, a slap with a firm cup finish, or a full on Rush encore drum solo?
I don't know about the third one. That might be a bit much.
Yeah.
I like the firm, just slap, grab, lift.
Slap grab. Yeah. Shakedown 47 said, no one really agrees on what ERD is, which is why some manufacturers bitch out and just publish the inside diameter of their rims, plus rim wall thickness times 2. Like
I
Spank.
just showed you how to measure it. Just fucking measure your rim. If you,
Well, yeah, if you do it yourself, but he's, I think, saying
well,
that.
if you're building the wheel, you need to do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. The question that people asked earlier, someone asked earlier, the time frame on a wheel build. If it's a rim I've built before and I already have it written down what my measured ERD for how I'm going to build the wheel is, then I can order the spokes. Otherwise, until I have the rim in my hand and I've measured it, I'm not going to order the spokes. So that's also a factor. And then you have shit like DT uses Pro Head washers in a lot of their rims now, so it's like a stainless steel. What's fucking bullshit?
Racer said this is going to be on the test. Shit.
Write this down.
You try to find the diameter of the hub by using the spokes. In essence, but he's using spokes that were already measured, right?
Yeah, it's a fixed length of spoke.
So he wasn't just randomly taking.
Yeah, they're not just spokes. I was just like, oh yeah, fucking A, we'll just figure this out. No, they're set. They're a set length.
Racer said, could you say that all over again? I was making a goddamn.
Which part?
No, don't.
I'd be happy to start over.
Yeah, I know you would. Don't. Please don't. Pudgy said, I'm too stoned for this and I build wheels. I think Pudgy's gotten into edibles lately since pot's been legal. It's been interesting. He's on an interesting journey of self-discovery. Horns, Hill, and weed. I think you keep them separate, though. So.
Alright, well, I think I took all my Pro Head nipple washers out of here.
Eddie Welker said, this wheel build is going exactly as expected. I love building my own wheels. Why am I watching this? I don't think I could do this. I
usually just watch reruns of The Office while I'm doing this.
I don't think I could do. I've always
Well,
thought.
this is just a rim swap. You could do this.
I don't even think I've tried to true wheels, and it's been like I'm just gonna pay the money and take it to the shop. And that's when I was riding the box section rims that I was like putting out a true all the time. There's something because I have like a meticulous nature on certain things, and wheels are not one of them. I can't
mystery to me.
What's that?
So that was a mystery to me.
But like you got, I mean, like anyone knows who would hire me, like photoshopping product shots. I could sit there and do meticulous work and really dig into and learn some boring ass shit. Like and
That
do
is
it.
boring.
Yeah.
That-
But like this is one
That
thing.
was a job that made me realize I never want to do that fucking job.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of fucking car parts. What a fucking terrible job that was.
But this again,
See,
and that's
so I
just,
can't do that, and you can't do this.
what was the one joke we talked about so many times that you made?
Oh
that
my
was your
God.
best joke ever because it was the Truck 500.
Something if I wanted to know how to take.
I brought him. So I built my vintage Truck 500 up with. I talked about it in the last video, but built it up with 9-speed Shimano 105, and I brought it in to the bike shop. Otis happened to be on vacation, and Yanda was there, and I was like, "I built this bike up, but it's not shifting right." And you said something like, "I don't take a bunch of photos and ask you why they look shitty." And so it was basically
That was pretty much it. Yeah.
yeah.
We know why they look shitty because I took them.
Yeah, because that's not what I do. Yeah. But I didn't know about compression versus compressionless housing at the time. So, because I'd only
Well,
been,
even linear, like index shifting specific housing.
I'd only been
versus-
riding friction shifting bikes where that stuff just doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down tube friction shifting bikes. So,
Well, yeah, those have like 4 inches of housing that go
Yeah.
from the dropout to the derailleur, and that's
Yeah.
it.
yeah. So it was like, I'm like, man, I built this up. It seems like I did everything right, but nothing's working. You know, because yeah.
That was forever. That was at the old building
Yeah, it was at the old building.
many moons ago. Yeah, this was out of town. It was one of the few times they let me out of the basement.
Oh, yeah.
They let me talk to the public.
So the old shop had like no space. It was in the Northside Marketplace. So they maximized it for sure. They hung some bikes around. But it was frustrating because people come in wanting to see a bike. They had to go down all the way down the basement and bring them up. But Yanda basically just worked.
Well, it
in
wasn't
this-
even a basement. So it was a commercial, like, giant cement structure building.
Yeah.
And the floor below, which they were like 18-foot ceilings on each floor. So the floor was way the F down there. And it was a parking garage floor. So, like, I just had, like, a walled garden in the middle of a parking garage.
Yeah.
So, like, there's, like, a garage door going up and down all day long behind me.
But you got more done back then probably because nobody distracted you ever.
Nobody asked me questions.
'Cause I come back to-
Customers never saw me.
I come back to talk to Ben about stuff and you get distracted because I'm back there and yeah, everybody comes back. Or people who know the shop come back there. Normal customers are not. We're not supposed to.
Well, the
even come
people
back.
that work there come back there to ask me shit, which
Yeah.
never happened.
You were just
before.
you down in the base.
Yeah.
Not even, like you said, not even the basement. Just down there in your little
Yeah.
walled off world, knocking stuff out. Yeah. Listen to your like right wing podcasts or whatever you did.
Actually, I don't think I was listening to a lot of podcasts.
It was
back
just Joe
then.
Rogan, I think, actually. But there are certain things I miss about that old space, but it's so much better than the new space. Well, before it was built out, before they were the first. Otis was the first person in there,
Yeah.
so we could just ride our bikes around this giant concrete area, and that was kind of cool.
Well, even the parking garage, like, we still did test rides down there. Like,
Yeah.
pretty much up until we left, which was pretty cool, especially in the winter or when it was raining.
Large Marge just commented. He said, Yanda, and I don't know what this means. I'm just going to read it. I'm sure you know what it means. Yanda, your time is running over. Bill Mold is in the back pointing at his watch.
So Ben and I were at a trade show, and Bill Mold, who is
He's the guy from Guided by Voices.
what? No. Bill Mold's a wheel builder and wheel building instructor. You can go to his website and look at his shit if you want.
Right.
He was doing a presentation on behalf of himself and Velocity at the show we were at, and SRAM was doing some AXS presentation at the same stage before him, and they had run over their time because nobody could figure out how to start the PowerPoint. So he's standing in the back of a room, probably like, not even a room, it was like a pipe drape, like cordoned off area in the middle of a giant convention center. And he's standing in the back going like this, slapping his wrist, yelling at the people presenting currently because they're going into his time.
Oh, jeez.
And I would say probably like 50% of the group that was there, including Ben and I, were not there for the SRAM presentation. We just got there early so we could watch Bill Mold's presentation. And yeah, he's just...
So Bill Mold was doing a service, or he was a dick?
He's just an older guy, and I don't think he was being a dick, because they were like... It wasn't like, oh, they were like 3 or 4 minutes over. It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were only 30-minute slots.
Ah, okay. Yes.
So like there was a whole slot of classes throughout the day. So like they had gone like way into his time. But
Racer said something interesting, which I'm not sure isn't true, but I'll defer to you. It's too bad they don't sell wheel build kits. Everything there you just have to build. Give me the labor and save the cost. Does anyone give you like spokes, hubs, and rims that all work together?
it's been done.
It's been done.
So the very first set of wheels I built unsupervised, I'll say, when I was teaching myself to build wheels. There used to be, or maybe there still is, an eBay store called Velomine, which I think the dude, he's out of Illinois, just buys a shitload of JBI returns. Because, like, all the shit he has is from J&B. He has a bunch of other stuff, but, like, I think his high volume shit's all JBI returns. Which is fine. I mean, he sold a bunch of stuff for good deals. He tried that, where he was selling, like, hubs, rims, and spokes already calculated out as a kit, and they really didn't sell. So the whole reason that I bought it,
I could imagine that, because if you're going to build a wheel, you're probably already nerdy about it.
we probably know
And
exactly
how much are you
what
going to save after someone already does the math for you? Like, so how much time would you? Because doing a wheel swap here, if you weren't talking, you would probably knock this out in an hour, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
So it's just not worth it, right?
Yeah, I mean, usually if you're going to take the time to build a wheel, like from, like not a rim swap, but an actual wheel build, you know what you want.
You've picked your components.
Yeah,
you
like
picked your
or you
spokes,
have a specific
you picked your brass
idea of
nipples.
what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So mine already put together just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, the calculations really are the easy part.
You made it sound complicated because you're doing the math from scratch and showing.
Yeah, I
you
was
were
showing
explaining
you
to me
how
it's
you
done.
get how you get to those.
But there's
numbers.
apps online that are going to.
Yeah,
do
nobody
that for
does
you.
it by hand.
Yeah.
I don't do it by hand.
Yeah.
I could if I had to, but
You were explaining.
that's
the
just because I
process to
was
me.
like, what do I do if I can't use one of these calculators? So one day I went through the whole deal and taught myself how to do it from nothing.
And that's how
it's a
I'm-
huge pain in the ass.
I like to know how things work, so that's probably if I did this, I probably would do that, know how it works too. But then
Yeah.
I would never use that knowledge.
I
I'd
never
go
use
to the
it. Yeah.
calculator. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just go to a spoke calculator. Now DT's calculator is weird. It'll give you some weird numbers. So I use QBP's calculator pretty heavily, which you can only use if you have a QBP account. But there's a million. Pro Wheel Builder is a good one. Spokecalc.io is like a pretty good community-based one that has like a ton of shit. Like anybody can input stuff and save it, so the whole community can use it. If you're a communist, it's probably like definitely your app for sure.
Yeah.
I delete all my stuff as soon as I put it in, so no one else can use it.
Yeah. Proprietary, even though you're using a free app. It
Yeah.
sounds typical, slightly right. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I put it in, I get what I need, and I delete it.
Socialism for me, vigorous capitalism for everybody else.
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
Let's go to the admin camp. Dirty River here said it's all about strengths and weaknesses. You don't know what you don't know, or my favorite, you only think you know. But I think he was commenting on the other comments going back there.
Yeah, so like, and the only reason that I bought the pre-built or pre-assembled or pre-picked wheel kit was because I got a front hub, rear hub, all the spokes, nipples, rims for $125 for Supreme double-butted spokes, like decent shit, and it was just the cheapest way to acquire the materials to get another practice.
So why is 2 butts better than 1?
To what?
2 butts better than 1.
I don't know. Why is 2 butts better than 1?
You said double butted.
Oh yeah, of course.
Actually,
Well, double butted doesn't necessarily just mean 2 butts.
double butting is. I didn't know that spokes were like this until I met you guys and you were building wheels. So it just means they're thinner, where they
thinner
don't
in
need
the
to be
middle.
as strong, thicker at the ends where they need to handle stress better, basically, just like tubes.
Well, no, so it actually makes the spoke stronger. So like a
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
thought it was
so-
about lightness. I thought it was about making them lighter.
No, so a double butted spoke, like a 1.8 in the middle, 2.0 at either end spoke will be stronger than a 2.0 straight gauge spoke.
Really?
Because this spoke will have it'll be a little bit more dynamic. It'll stretch a little bit more and come back to its original shape. And which is what, I mean, assuming that the wheel is being ridden, they flex all around. These things move while you're riding.
Yeah.
Like to think that they don't move
At
is
the
crazy.
bottom, but they're flexing when they're expanding when the weight's not on them, right?
Well, not only that, you're twisting this whole thing from the middle with the drivetrain.
The power you're putting through the
Yeah,
pedals.
and then you're also trying to rip the hub out of the center, going the opposite direction with the brakes every time you use the brakes. So all these forces travel out through the spokes, and that's why all these cheap WTB rims, they're all cracking at the spoke nipples because they're all on straight gauge spokes. Probably too much tension or way too little tension, so you get spots that are super loose and then spots that are super tight. Because the total amount of force being carried by the wheel isn't changing. Just because the spokes are getting looser, it's not carrying less weight. The rider's still on the bike. So the spokes that are loose are not carrying that weight, and the spokes that are tight are carrying way more of that. So it's not distributed evenly. So yeah, so a double butt, like, and you can go on Supreme's website and they have like their yield strengths listed for all their spokes. and like a CX Ray is butted and bladed, which is why they're like $4.11 per spoke. 'Cause there's a lot of processes that go into making that spoke. But
with bike tubing though, that's only about lightness, right? So it's totally
No.
different on.
no,
Oh, really?
so it's about the bike being able to flex where it needs to flex.
But people don't believe in a triangle having any flex. I've heard this a lot of
Well,
times.
they absolutely have
Frame
flex.
material doesn't matter.
No, that's not true.
I don't believe that either. I'm just.
Well, what people are saying, they're
they're
referring to the argument with Young's modulus, saying that to achieve the same strength, you just have to use less or more material based on the Young's modulus, and it'll end up being the same stiffness anyways, blah, blah, blah. And it's just not true.
I don't agree either. I threw that up in the last video. I rode Otis's, what was that, the War Road? It was carbon bike with those thin drawn seat stays and chain stays. And that thing sucked up normal road
They
vibration.
flex a lot, yeah.
Awesome. But when you got on the chunk, that thing bounced you around so much more
There's
than
only
my rally.
Yeah, there's
Like,
only so much it can do.
exactly. So frame material matters.
Well, not only that, is you would have to rebuild an identical bike, wheels, everything.
Exactly, everything. Tires.
Yeah, because
that actually had though at the time the widest and most supple tires I ever ridden. But when I hit the really rough gravel, like, and I'm not saying like a gravel road, I'm saying railroad gravel, it bounced you around way more. Like carbon is really good at dampening vibration. It's not really good at like sucking up stuff like steel does when it comes to the chunkier stuff, in my opinion. I felt like my 42s on my rally made for a better ride on really chunky stuff than a carbon bike with wider tires did on the really chunky stuff. But that bike
there's
was
so much other stuff at play, though.
there's too many things. I always say
Yeah.
that. And I mean, to really measure speed.
I mean,
or-
you historically have rode pretty floppy handlebars, like 26.0 at the clamp,
Yeah.
which makes a massive difference compared to an oversized clamp, like multi-butting profile, stiff aluminum bar, which is probably what was on that bike. So that right there probably made a massive difference in how the bike felt.
Yeah.
Um,
But now I'm riding those titanium handlebars on the rally.
yeah, they flex right up till they stop.
Yeah. They flex right till they don't.
Yeah, but I would consider that a really soft handlebar.
They are.
Yeah, I'm saying that the opposite of what was probably on that War Road.
Yeah, I don't know what you have on the board. I can't remember.
Probably a stock salsa bar, which they're pretty stiff.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's Otis. Doesn't mean anything was stock.
I mean, that bike was a stock build.
Yeah. He sold it as a stock build. Doesn't mean he was riding it as a stock build.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the bars on that got changed. I think those were probably cowbells, which is what came on those.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah. I'm gonna have to take a leak. You guys keep this rolling. Literally. Cowbell Deluxe, Otis said.
See? I know some things about a few things.
But remember those bars I was riding on the rally originally were brutal. They were super. They're over here somewhere.
They were really
thick.
thick,
Yeah.
but they were probably really shitty aluminum, which is why they were so thick. So they probably flexed a lot.
Before I go take a leak, I should show you guys the admin camp. This is the reason I haven't gotten up for so long, because look at this guy. Little lurver. He's a black cat though with a GoPro. Probably not a lot you saw there, but either way,
Just a nice crotch shot is what that is.
yeah. Well, either way, whatever keeps the views up, you know.
Hey, somebody's got to pay the bills.
And no one's super chatting.
Have to wait
Oh,
till-
what kind of keyboard? So this is a knockoff of those 90s like IBM Tandy keyboards. It's a cheap one. This is not a fancy. It's not like a. Do you know about this hand-built keyboard movement and all this shit?
It's fucking so stupid.
They are mechanical, and it does feel exactly like the keyboards I grew up on in the 90s, but it's a cheap version. It was like this is like a $30
What switches
keyboard.
are in it?
No, they're not even listening. This is not what I'm running here. or people talk about this. So you do know about the keyboard movement. To answer the question. Talk about the switches.
You a big blue guy, or are we talking browns,
It's
or?
not a handheld keyboard, as I said.
2.87 millimeters of travel. That's where I really like to be at. Oh, we forgot to put a mic in his hoodie.
Pick it up, huh?
No, last time I was on, I put a mic in his hood.
Hmm? You didn't pop up. You didn't switch the cams. Yeah.
Amateur hour.
I got it on the double cam. I couldn't figure out which cam was what.
Is that a can?
What's a string spoke?
Bird spokes?
Oh, someone asked about the string spokes.
Bird spokes?
Which blows my mind that that could work.
Well, you realize these,
Like an actual string?
yeah, they're UHMW, so ultra high molecular weight polymer. They've been around, like that sort of concept's been around for a really long time. So there used to be this thing, well, still are, this thing called Fiberfix. It's like a Kevlar string that you could stick through your spoke hole, and then it had a little spoke thing on the end,
Sorry.
and you could pull it tight and then twist it around if you broke a spoke. It was like a touring thing. But yeah, so like I guess I'm willing to ruin this spoke. But do you have any shitty spokes around here? You've broken
Get
so
the
many.
whole wall full of them.
Yeah, I know. Like, people are like, well, how do string spokes work? Well, like, this, you can't push on a spoke. It won't carry any load if you're pushing on it.
All right. Yeah, because I saw when you had
Yeah.
the wheel half built, they were bent. And
Yeah.
I'm like, is that fine? But I knew it must be because.
So you can only pull on spokes, which is why spokes made
So
of
if the
string.
string is tensioned, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, if these are loose and you push on a spoke, they break. The spokes only are strong in tension. They're not strong in compression.
So it's one of those counterintuitive things. In our minds, we feel like
Yeah, functionally, it's actually not any different than a steel spoke.
we feel like the spokes are supporting the wheel, but they're not. They're
They
pulling.
are.
They're
They're
pulling.
supporting the wheel, but they're not. When you're, this is the bottom. When you're putting your weight here, these are the spokes that are being affected, not these.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not a push; it's a pull.
Yeah. It's not so much a suck as it is a blow.
All right, where are we at?
Well, bird spokes did win the Olympics, so just for the record, they built 30 sets of wheels. Everybody that was on them got 2 sets, and all the people on podiums in the mountain bike events were on them. So I guess they chose well to who they put on their product. They're also colossally expensive. It's like $400 for a set of spokes.
And I've seen
But I
peop-
really want to build a set. So if you want some, give me a call.
following people doing the Tour Divide when they need to do like a quick fix. I've seen people do that, like where they're just using those kind of.
It's called a fiber fix. Like the
Fiber fix.
emergency spoke repair deals.
Yeah.
Those have been around for forever. It's like a Kevlar string. As a joke, like wheel builders would build a whole wheel out of them, just like, oh, look what I did. Like, you know, but nobody was doing it. But bird spokes are not, they're plastic. They're not Kevlar.
A couple people are talking about aluminum bikes, and the harsher ride. And
Well,
there's
aluminum's not metal.
yeah, there's a sticker that says that.
No shit.
Link below. But one thing too is that they've gotten better at making aluminum bikes. So like, I like this new Velo Orange bike that came out is probably a bike I would like. Steel fork, aluminum bike. But when you look at like early, what would you say up until like even the teens, like the aluminum bikes, just the oversized tubing and stuff just gave really harsh rides. Like the track.
I wouldn't say into the teens, no.
You don't think
but
so?
like definitely like the early climbs were just horrendous. A lot of the like early 2000s, late 90s Cannondale stuff was just so bad.
But I've never noticed it on like that. We talked about my old Trek mountain bike, but I'm running wider tires and now I'm running studded tires, and like the frame just doesn't matter that much on that bike. And there's a lot of exposed seat posts too, so it has some compliance there.
Yeah.
Steel fork, but like when Ron, like
Well,
there's newer bikes that they're just better at doing it now. There's better built aluminum bikes than there were.
sure.
And there are different alloys of aluminum too, I believe, right?
Sure. I mean, that's what they had said back then, too.
Yeah.
It's scandium bikes and all this other bullshit. I'm not a big aluminum bike guy, so.
Racer said I have everything except titanium, and other than my Carbon Aero road bikes, there's very little difference. Yeah, and again, there's so many things out there, you know. Mavic tried compression spokes and they were shitty. That is what someone said. I think the one with my Casirums, they have those like thick bladed. what are those?
Ceriums?
Yeah, Casirums.
No, ceriums?
Ceriums, is that how you say it?
There's no K. I mean, it's
no
there,
K.
but you don't say it.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Or should I just say, oh? Got him! Are those aluminum spokes?
Let me go look. Semi-modern ceriums are aluminum spokes.
Do you think it's spin
Yeah.
that all the way around, Dave?
Yeah, they're aluminum.
Ah,
They're not compression though. They're still in tension. You don't need to swing it around.
yeah.
I'm coming back. I'm already done. Look at that.
Some badass wheels. Tour de France model, one yellow smoke.
They all had that.
When are we going to finish that bike?
I don't know.
It's the sketchiest bike ever.
It just. I don't want it to be done enough for you to be able to ride it. I'm afraid of what'll happen.
It's like, by the way, the bike we're talking about is a carbon lugged bike. So early carbon, aluminum lugs,
Yeah, aluminum
Carbon
lugs,
tubes,
bonded carbon
TVT.
tubes.
I think those were. It's a Bernardino, but then it's got some Mavic Cerium wheels.
Thank you.
Campy, what, Centaur group set?
I think that's what's on it. I didn't.
10 speed. Stu traded that to me. Mavic headset. Yeah.
It's a cool bike. Don't ride it. We sold a ton of those wheels when I worked at Performance way back in the day. People loved that shit.
I bought that frame set for almost nothing because it's like right between like retro and modern. It's just not. It doesn't have any.
The wheels aren't the right era for that bike.
No, they're
That's
not.
okay.
But they're French. It's
Yeah.
a look. It's
Well,
a
they're
look,
Chinese, but they're not old enough to actually be French Mavics, unfortunately.
You don't think so? The machine between the
Guaranteed.
spokes.
Guaranteed.
I think I got those from what's his name? That dude who does the wheels now. 226.
No comment.
Fair enough. Let's see. Where are we?
Yeah, we sold a lot of those at Performance. A lot of broken free hub bodies. It was pretty common for those. Should put a set of those on my dad's vintage Bianchi
Yeah, definitely a death trap bike.
because I thought it'd be super cool, and then I realized that I did a bad thing. So I took them off and I sold them.
Well, Yanda's always said about the look. Once I got it built up, he's like, if it ever starts to feel at all comfortable, stop riding.
Yep. Stand behind that. call for an Uber. Don't ride it the rest of the way home.
My brother was a triathlete, and I think he had, what was that? I think it was a Trek 2300, but it was carbon with aluminum lugs early on. Snap clip-on aero bars, all that.
Or it could have been one of those Treks, which Otis is old and sold Treks back in the day, so he might know which models. They also did bonded aluminum frames.
No, it was carbon, because it was like the look where you could see the carbon threading underneath whatever that
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
glue stuff is.
they did glued together aluminum frames.
Oh, like the original aluminum frames were. Yeah.
Well, because like a lot of them were 7000 series aluminum, which is largely considered to be non-weldable. Like not all alloys of aluminum can be welded.
Adam said, Fiber Fix have saved my ass more than once. Nice. And then used bikes is going to bed. Good night, used bikes. And then Seven sells titanium lug carbon bikes that look pretty neat. Yeah, that's what.
No, that's not 7. That's IndieFab.
IndieFab?
hmm I mean, 7 might do it too, but that's not what they're known for. 7's known for titanium bikes.
Yeah. Pudgy said, "Look, don't ride," for sure. It was 70.
I actually had a guy walk into the shop like last year. He came in a few times. Who used to be a builder for IndieFab and did all the glue up for him. He said the glue that they used was super nasty. He's pretty sure he's gonna lose some fingers from it.
Dirty River Bike said purple 2300. Yeah. He originally had an aluminum at Trek, but then his friend who got really into it sold him his carbon lugged bike later. Used it. I could be wrong about it being a 2300. But I asked him
If I had to put money on it, I'd say probably like a 6900.
69 420.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Anyone here have a Cannondale SL crank bolt? No, okay, try it.
Who asked that?
And then Shakedown 47 said, warrantied a ton of Treks that unbounded, even one where the entire seat tube would spin. I broke even on this. This is my 2007 Trek 1500. That is the group set that's on the 83 Trek 500 now. I broke the seat post on that because it had a carbon seat post. I didn't break it, but it started spinning where the what do you call where the seat goes into the seat post, where the thing that holds the seat. What do you call that?
The seat minder?
Yeah. I went down
The
on
seat goes into the post, or the post goes into the frame?
No, so the seat post has so it was a carbon seat post, and then I think it's an aluminum piece that actually holds the saddle rails where the clamp is.
Oh, the seat post head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were riding, so of course I'm riding a Trek 1500 on 28s over gravel, and I went down, and it hit the inside of my thigh, and it ruined that carbon seat post because it could spin in there then.
Yeah.
I tried to replace it with an original, but the person on eBay said it was carbon and it was actually alloy, and I told him that. And I said, if you're going to list bike parts, you have to know what carbon and alloy are. And they said, thanks for the tip, and they didn't give me any money back. Fascinating.
You'll have that on eBay. I mean, eBay was like the Wild West there for a while.
Pudgy said IndieFab isn't known for either at this point. Somerville or Newfield's, probably thinking of Firefly.
Last Firefly I worked on was all TIG welded, and it was broken.
7 has mixes.
Yeah, 7
Again,
has.
like you said, known for the titanium, but you gotta search pretty deep in their site to find it.
Otis said we have SI crank bolts at the shop.
No, we don't. We got tons of those. Just ask Ben. Yeah. The crown jewels, I think, from IndieFab were they're glued together. Carbon, titanium.
What are the bikes that Trek really got in trouble for? Those were those like 5,000 with the oversized tubing, right?
I think there were 520s that were all pretty much black and white.
When they had all the carbon problems?
Sold them to the public agencies.
Was that in the 90s?
Oh, we're not talking about cop bikes. Oh, okay.
Rachel said I have one of those wacky bonded Raleigh Technium.
Oh
Steel
shit! Is that the
aluminum
one that
frame?
I was working on 2 weeks ago?
You really? You had one of these?
Yeah. I don't know if Racer is the. Is that it? That picture that's up in the Discord? No, that's not it. I was working on Technium.
I remember that name.
Scary. Yeah, bonded aluminum bike.
Truck got in trouble for the bikes they sold to cops. That's part.
That's what I just fucking said.
Yeah. Truck got in trouble for a lot of things.
I said I think they were like 520s. They were all black, sold in public agencies.
Yeah. But Truck got in trouble for a lot of things. One, the Lance Armstrong shit.
So
that
to be
was running
fair,
on.
Truck took a lot of heat over the cop bikes, but KHS sells more cop bikes like 3-1 to Trek.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who's
Trek-
KHS? Nobody knows, but KHS sells a fuckload of cop bikes.
The reason Trek gets in trouble because their track record is shit. They've done a lot of shitty things. That's why they get in trouble. So it's just one more.
Get in trouble for being awesome.
Throwing more log on the fire. Like I always say, I'm sitting here amongst 3 Treks. Like, I mean, I have Trek bikes, but I would never.
I've never owned a Truck bike.
No. I have 2.
Because I'm not a racist like you.
I have 2 American-made trucks. Okay, let's get back on track here. Oh, it's too late. Let's get back on track here.
Ah! God, he's so fucking funny.
That's why I'm the host. There was one time we had to use the fiber fix to pull the chain guard
Love fiber fix.
on
Was
a
it on
checkpoint after one of the groups managed to run over something that threw the chain off the chain ring. Huh. Can't wrap my head around that, but I'm also drunk.
buzzed? Not deep into the aborts yet.
Yeah, but think about what Trek has done for part of the state of Wisconsin. Now nothing. Now they're one building there, right? No one even. Trek doesn't.
Project One's still there.
Project One still makes American-made bikes. They're real.
No,
That's
they
pretty
paint.
li-
They paint American bikes. They
paint-
paint Taiwanese
They paint
bikes.
Taiwanese bikes.
They might actually make bikes there. I don't sell.
I
them,
think
so.
Project Ones are made in the U.S. I think they are custom-made U.S. bikes, but this is not the whatever. Trek's original idea of competing with the European bikes with U.S.-made bikes was awesome, and then they fucked up with the early carbon stuff. They fucked up with Lance Armstrong stuff and destroying Greg LeMond, and then they fucked up by being a bunch of fascists.
I really like that KHS got away with it.
So I mean,
Nobody even knows who they are. Fuji also sells a shitload of cop bikes.
true.
Nobody said a word to them.
no. But that's why I say track record comes into play at some points. What have you been doing?
Yeah.
So we got a wheel done here?
No.
No. The stream will end at 3 a.m.
Well, I'm not doing the other one tonight. I'm
Oh,
taking
that's
it.
the-
I'm
is
taking
that-
it home.
Is that next Tuesday?
No, I'm gonna take it home and I'm just
I
gonna
think
give it
this
to
is
you.
going
Doug.
well. I think this is going.
I'm not having a bad time. I'm just saying if you want this bike back before next
Yeah.
Thursday, because I'm gonna have to build it, and then I guess I could bring tape from the shop and then tape it, but.
Milton. Hey, what's up, Milton? I don't. No, I said Milton. Mitman. I don't know. Have we chatted in the live streams before? We always chat in the comment section, like for years. But you said Trek could be worse. They could be specialized. Man, I think Trek's worse. Specialized has always had a good marketing department, better than Truck's marketing department.
Specialized is a tire company that sells bikes.
Someone brought up the Specialized. We were talking about gravel tires, and someone was talking about how good the Specialized.
What did I just say? Specialized is a tire company that sells bikes.
What is their?
That was their first product, was a tire.
What is their good gravel tires?
They make a bunch of good gravel
Oh,
tires.
really? I guess I'm less aware of them because I only buy stuff that you guys sell. So let me see if I could find what they.
I mean, I have a set of, or had a set of Turbo S Pros that were really good. I think they also make a gravel version of the Turbo now. The Flint or something like that. That might be a Kenda tire.
Tracer Pro is the one. 47 by 700. This person.
They also do everything in weird sizes.
47.
Yeah. Like 26. They didn't do a 25. They did a 26.
Think about what Trek has done for Bike Farmer. That's a good comment. That guy's blown up though.
Who?
He's a new YouTuber.
Mm.
He blew up with like Wire. You probably saw Wire Bike Shop. Mechanics such assholes and
Didn't see it.
no, hit too close to home.
No, I'm not really on YouTube these days, so
You're on YouTube right now.
I mean, but I'm not watching YouTube. That's the thing about it. I watch very little bike content on my own time. believe it or not.
You know what's funny, because most of my bike content is kind of like mine. It's more about rides. Like it's more like Bike Breath and Terry B, and then probably riding. It's people who just ride bikes, and they do bike checks and they go to bike shops, but it's not super nerdy stuff. I mean, I do watch Part Tools videos because I hope I could remember and retain some of the knowledge, but I usually don't. Dimitri said, just sleep over. Sure, Tim has a couch. Yeah, I got a whole bed set up down here. Dimitri, by the way.
I don't live that far from here.
Yeah, you just drive over. Yeah, and you're sober.
Yeah, I haven't had anything to drink, and my house with my bed is like 8 minutes from here.
Yeah, with your wife and children.
Yeah.
Dimitri, by the way, I was watching, since you've been streaming on YouTube, I flipped on a couple times when I only had a few minutes. And when you were eating that Boston cream donut, you were in it looked like you were in the basement of a photo studio. I was trying to figure out where you were. But I also was half in and out and working, but Dimitri is a really good, he knows how to live stream. He could like go and like roam around all of Toronto and keep a stream up. I find it fascinating. I need to figure this out. We talked about it last week.
Does he have like a hotspot?
That's your knowledge? Throw out the word hotspot?
Well, I mean, does he have like a cellular hotspot so that he has high-speed internet?
I have no idea. Oh, Benjamin just said, that's funny because I always stayed away from Specialized tires because I thought they were a bike company.
First product ever was a tire. They make pretty decent tires. I don't buy them because I'm not going to pay retail for them, but if you're paying retail for all your shit.
I don't know. Specialized made their name though because they were early into making good mountain bikes, good for the time.
I mean, they also made a lot of really good road bikes.
Yeah, they did make some good road bikes. Well, they did lugged carbon too, Allays and stuff when they were lugged carbon. And yeah, they've been through it all. They did everything, but they're.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like non-custom mountain bikes, like they were kind of it.
Yeah.
You know, like your stump jumper over there and stuff like that.
That's a lightweight steel frame. It's a really nice frame. Yeah. Just it's bad night. Well, it's 89, but it's bad night. It's inventing bad 90s geometry right there. And it's beautiful.
I mean, Specialized won a lot of World Cup titles on mountain bikes in the 90s,
Yeah.
so
Everybody was riding stuff like that.
it wasn't that bad.
It was better than what existed, which was clunkers.
Yeah. Or like beefed up cyclocross bikes and all kinds of weird shit.
Dimitri said Gallery 44. I'm a member, and there is an art gallery, and it has a dark room downstairs. Sorry, this is just nerdy talk, but I was like, so I'm looking at the boxes of photo stuff, and I'm looking at the C stands in the background. I'm like, where is? I was like, Dimitri, is this your basement? Or I'm like, no, there's a different person working on a laptop over there. Cool to know. Yeah,
You said in Toronto?
yeah, he's in Toronto. IKEA
They
rats.
probably have like public Wi-Fi everywhere because they're
Yeah.
socialists.
Yeah,
I gotta go to work.
Slam's laptop shut until Thursday morning.
You're going to work now?
Well, tomorrow morning.
IKEA rats said,
Don't worry, my boss is watching.
Bike Farmer sets a low bar. Makes me feel better about the repairs I do for friends. Huh. I feel
Just
like
because
he's
somebody
the-
else
he's-
sucks
he's
at
the-
something doesn't mean you should be okay with sucking at something.
Yeah, he's the new bike man for you.
Oh God, I was hoping that's just dead and gone.
Except he's not going to be. I don't think he's going to switch to doing seafood.
Is that what he did? Is that
Yeah,
what
he's an
happened to
oyster
Bike Man
farmer
for
now.
you?
Yeah, he has a whole new channel. We've talked about this on the stream. He switched over to like, he's like an oyster. I don't know. Don't
Good
quote
for
me on
him.
oyster farmer. Yeah, but
Yeah. You know, the industry got pretty shitty there for a while, and he just kept his head above water. I mean, he was like, his whole bike shop was like a garage.
oh, that
On
guy
the
changed my
beach.
life. That's how I learned about bikes.
Who?
Bike man for you.
Never fear.
You don't know bike man for you? He
He
would
had
like
this
pop
awesome
up
like
when
New
you're
England-
buying shitty vintage bikes. He was the guy who would pop up when you're like, I
Is
just need
this
to
a
know
good
some
bike?
basic shit, and I need
Yeah.
to get like cheap. What are the wheels that they used to sell called? Just Wheelman, right? Wheelman.
Wheelmaster.
Wheelmasters and stuff. Yeah, he just
Yeah. That's
yeah,
all.
bike man for you, and he's just this guy, and it's just like
Dude,
one camera.
his J&B
setting-
Was
rep-
he like working out of his garage or something?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, no, it was like a full-on retail store.
It was
out
a
of
retail
his
store,
garage.
but it felt like his garage.
Well, the workshop was the garage behind the house. The
Yeah.
retail store was in a house.
Not if you're thinking of not what's the guy?
Not
you
RJ.
hate? Not RJ, the bike guy.
I think I'm thinking of that.
You're thinking of RJ.
They're
but
both
this-
just as hacky.
Well,
But
Bike Man for you-
Bike Man for you just wasn't real pretentious about it. at
No, he
all.
wasn't. He was the
And-
most down to earth
Yeah.
man who's ever existed.
And he had this
he's
just
become a seaman.
he just had this incredible Northeast like New England accent.
Oh yeah.
And he was so fun to listen to.
I found him, and then I found GCN, and that's how I learned about bikes.
Just two completely different ends of
Yeah,
the world. Both of which
I'm like, this is what I could...
no one involved with the channel knows fuck all about actually fixing a bike. Just two completely different ends of the spectrum, but they come back around on the other side of
Yeah.
not knowing anything about actually fixing the bike. I love watching their tech videos. I'm like, just stop talking. I mean, it works out for me. People break their shit. I get paid to fix their shit.
Racer said, "Oh my God, I haven't thought about Bike Man for you." He sent me a T-shirt and a bunch of other stuff for one of my comments. He's a character for sure, but he was a legit mechanic. Yeah, he was a legit mechanic.
I think he was really good at hack shit. I wouldn't call it like.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I'm a hack.
That's why I like RJ. 'Cause it just
RJ,
all-
yeah.
all the same stuff I was trying to do.
It was just such bad work that RJ was.
What's in the box?
You gonna be around Friday evening?
I think so.
I gotta work Friday.
What are you doing Sunday, September 14th? Yeah, like real fucking early in Cleveland. I need you.
Not going to Cleveland.
I need you.
Doing what?
I need you to take photos.
Of what?
Oh, I can take bad photos.
People walking
Walking what?
for a good cause.
Where are
ALS.
you gonna be?
I'm going to be. Okay, why am I going to be gone? I'm going to be in Pittsburgh seeing Bob Dylan with Eric, my boy.
Clapton?
No. I'll pay you double.
Yeah, right.
Whatever that means. I need to pay you right now. That's too late. I'll have to pay you on Friday.
Yeah, I gotta work, so, but I was gonna try to stop over in the evening. So if you're riding,
Is that why you sneaked in here early tonight?
huh?
Wait. He's getting paid?
I thought you were.
He does
I'm
real work.
fucking with you.
He also does real work.
I know he does.
But yeah, if you're not, I was just gonna I'm trying to wrap that up. I cleaned up last week.
Ah, yeah. Oh, right after we left, we got all those like lightning warnings, and
Oh,
me
okay.
and Aaron left, and it was
Nasty.
saw the sky, and it was crazy. Yeah, you must have only got like 10 more minutes after we
Yeah.
left, right?
I was kicking around. You got.
Oh,
you gotta
fucking
build
A,
something
right,
around
boys?
the light Up there.
Dish is spot on.
Pouring into the basement.
1 minute, we're trying to do some business. here.
We're live, motherfucker.
I'll talk to you Friday if you're around.
But September 14th,
telling
Sunday
you.
morning at like
The dish is on.
How
all the
stupid
big
early.
shots from like Lou Gehrig's disease are going to be there.
Doing what?
Do you remember John Elward?
Like the Blues Brothers?
Well, he's going to be your boss in Cleveland. 7 a.m.
Shooting
It's a walk for ALS at the zoo. I just did their Akron one.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it's easy work, but it's, yeah. He's a little nervous about it. He's a organized. Hey, don't look at me like that.
Ah,
How much have you
talk
had?
to me later about it.
All right. Yeah.
You guys don't stay up too late.
If you want blurry pictures, I'll go.
All right, let's get back to the task at hand.
We've done the task at hand.
So what are you trying to say?
Did you not just see what I did?
Build a wheel? I saw you put that weird green thing on there.
Yeah, this is my dishing gauge. Abbey Tools, baby. It's my pride and joy. I love this thing. It costs a lot of money. Oh, it's spot on.
But if it's the same on both sides, nothing's been dished.
Oh my god, motherfucker.
Man.
That's
Oh, it's going to the axle.
yes.
So it's showing the center is true. See,
It's
look
only
at that.
the
Catch
wheel will be in the center of the frame, not in the center of the hub flanges. If you were to use the same length spokes and tighten everything the same, then the wheel is centered in the hub flange, like a rim brake front wheel would be, or a track rear wheel. It's also not dished. Well, it is dished, but it's not offset. Dish just refers to the rim center
Yeah, where the rim is centered versus
Centered. on the dropouts.
Yeah.
Which it should always be centered on the dropouts, unless it's an offset wheel like a Pugsley or a Moonlander V1.
Oh, you probably will though. That's the thing.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, exactly. Of course. Yeah. Well, it's built.
That's a wheel.
There you go. Oh, now we can go through and, since I got the tensions all close with the park meter, we can get out the big dog meter and check. But I left my cards not in here, so I need to look it up real quick. Oh. Who is that?
There we go.
Who's that?
That looks like Anquetil.
Well, somebody in the comments will know it. Is Pudgy still up?
I don't know if he's still
If Pudgy's still up, he'll know who it is. Oh, I did bring some cool toys if we really want to swing a big dick on the TV.
No, let's do it.
I don't want to do that one right now.
This-
Well, I'm just going to do the... There's stickers on these wheels, so these aren't going to run perfectly smooth.
Dang, is that precise? Because how
Yes.
much are the stickers? Like a couple millimeters?
Well, they'd be tenths of millimeters.
Like 10 millimeters?
Tenths.
10, 20 millimeters?
Oh my god. You've had some drinks.
Oh, Kopi.
What?
Kopi?
They were saying that's who that was.
Peekaboo said a dish wheel isn't as strong as a symmetrical wheel. That's not true, right?
I mean, it's sort of true, but it's irrelevant.
It just doesn't matter.
So you have 0.2 millimeters of run out in this wheel. 0.2.
What that means is you fucked up by 0.2? Is that what we're looking at?
Yep, that's exactly what that means.
He said measure to the inside of the bead seat to avoid the stickers.
This won't go with that angle. I tried that. These will, but this is like a bearing on a cage. I just don't measure where the stickers are. I disregard that measurement.
Good thing they're shorter stickers than the old ailerons, huh?
Yeah. So. If I can get this to stop where I want. You know what, we'll call it 0.28. That's how much it's off.
Did that say boobs?
Yep. Do you see the gap? That's
Go to
how
the
much.
camera, not to me.
That much.
Dude, not even close. There you go. Turn it the other way so the
No, I just
digital
wanted to
readout
see
is
the-
facing the camera.
No, I just
Up.
want to see the gap.
A little higher, a little higher.
No, I don't care about the number. I'm talking about the gap.
That's how off the dish is.
No, not the dish.
Be
The lateral true.
lateral true. Sounds
No, the-
like the name of my next band. It's gonna be real emo. You're gonna love them, Yanda.
That's the dish. So
Lower. There we go.
there, and then we'll flip it over. Actually, here, I'll do it the other way so you can actually see it. There.
So you can only do that don't you need to do that like at multiple points?
Well, the rims. That's why I check if it's straight first.
Alright. I'm just curious. I don't know shit.
I guess if the wheel wasn't straight, then yeah, you would need to check it at multiple
Oh,
points.
because you already put it through the truing stand.
Yeah, because I know the whole thing is
Yeah.
going in a straight
Gotcha,
line.
gotcha.
That whole 0.2 millimeters thing I just told you about? Yeah, that.
Racer said I still want to know if boost is worth it for anyone but racers. No, boost is worth it so you can get
What? Boost?
for bigger tire size.
No.
Right, my gunner is boost so you can get the tires to and the double to work.
No, my Fargo is not boost, and I can fit just as
So
big a
what's the
tires
point
as
of
you.
boost?
Because your dropouts are further apart, you can then space the hub flanges further apart. You get a bigger triangle. You get a stronger wheel. So
So
it
is
has
that why
nothing to
Otis
do
wants-
with racing.
So that's why Otis wanted boost on the gunner to have a stronger.
Well, not only that, it's getting pretty difficult to find non-boost mountain bike wheels. That's why I build so many non-boost mountain bike spec wheels, because you can't just go buy them.
Well, I hope everybody learned something. I think I did.
Jesus Christ. Shouldn't this thing just be idling? Why is there so much heat coming out of here?
It's doing the work. We have multiple camera feeds coming in here, multiple monitors.
Ow.
I don't know. Ask PNW machines. You can get wider tire clearance with boost. So it's just about the
Well-
stronger wheels, though. More is what you're saying.
But it doesn't matter if you can get wider tire clearances, because we already fit the first generation Krampus, which was 29x3, was 135 spaced. So
So it's not about the clearance; it's about the strength of the wheel set.
yeah, it's more about the strength of the wheels. That's the bigger advantage, because it's easier. It's easier to design drivetrains around boost to clear the tires. Yeah, but again, the first generation Krampus didn't really have drivetrain problems, It's 135 3-inch tires.
Racer said I thought it was for rigidity, which is, yeah, we're talking about tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're saying tire size.
I said tire. I meant.
Yeah, it makes a
wheel
stiffer,
strength.
stronger
Wheel
wheel.
strength,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, sweet. This is dead again.
How is the radial true? Does that question
yeah.
make sense to you? I don't know what it means.
It's a non-welded aluminum rim, so it's not going to be super, like, perfect. But I will tell you what it is.
Oh, so that's the roundness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they mean, the roundness of the wheel?
Yeah, radially.
Gotcha, yeah.
Hold on. I gotta snug that up real quick.
Otis said night night, time to clock in, Yanda. It's missing one, so hopefully it's not the one you need.
Of course it is the one I need.
That tool I feel like I should get warranted. Bought it from you guys.
I said we shouldn't be selling these because they suck. Alright, let's see where we're at here.
Yeah, how much would a rim like this go out of radial true? Because this is a pretty stout, like, cause
It's not that stout of a rim, but it's a manufactured rim. Like,
how much can the spokes pull a rim like this, I guess, or push? Like,
oh, I can make it an egg if I want.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if you weren't paying attention, you could make it an egg. So if we disregard the seam, which, like I said, it's a non-welded aluminum rim, so you don't really take the seam into account. Even the seam, including the seam, like 0.3 millimeters, but without the seam, 0.2 millimeters again. 0.2 millimeters of radial deviation.
When you were building the rim, how much did you have to think about that? With the spoke length, not much, right? Because you already had the right spoke.
Well, so getting everything even to start with, and then you also have to sew. I don't remember which one it was. I might be able to look in here and see. No. One of these at the seam I had to mess with quite a bit, one of the spokes to get.
Oh, really? You were feeling it? Or you?
Yeah. I could feel that the tension was way higher than the other spokes that had the same number of turns in it. So there was a variation in the thickness of the rim right there. Because like the threads on a spoke are so fine that a variation of like 0.2 or 0.3 millimeters in rim thickness is going to be noticeable. And at the seam is where you're going to get that variation, because there's a sleeve that's glued in here that keeps the ends of the rim together.
If someone built a rim that wasn't totally radial true, but by like a small amount, so just an average home mechanic, how much would the tire, like when we're running like 42s, 44s, would you know at all?
Well, what do you mean by a small amount?
I don't know. Like some home guy who has an idea on the spokes.
I'd say
right.
less than 3 millimeters, which would be a lot.
So people
You probably wouldn't notice it.
you could build a fairly sloppy radial, like fairly and it was
Yeah,
still,
unless
the
you're
tire
riding,
was smooth.
especially usually the bigger tire you're running, the slower you're going.
Yeah,
Like it's in a big tire.
it's
have
not going
more
to feel like a tractor in the morning. It's
Yeah,
not
you
gonna
have
feel
more
like a bull.
forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where like if you're running a 19C tire at 185 psi on a track,
It
you're gonna
needs to be
feel
perfect.
3
Yeah,
millimeters.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
A 42, you don't need to be as perfect. Your home wheel builder doesn't need to be as perfect.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, so like the stickers that are on like the ones that say, you know, Aileron 622 and that stuff that's on the inside, like just looking at the wheel, you're like, oh, there's a hop right there, but then you stop it and you're like, oh, there's a sticker there. So it changes the way the light plays off the wheel as it turns. So that's why you measure it. Like you just go like this and spin it. You're like, depending on what part of the rim you're looking at, it might look like it moves. But if you're only looking at the very edge that's consistent all the way around, it's not moving. So
Yeah, when I do my photography work, I don't trust my eyes. I look at histograms
you
and
need a
graphs.
you need a light meter or something
Yeah.
like that. Like down here, it looks bright,
Yeah,
but like
the
if you were-
size of
if
the
you were to
size of
take like a
1250.
second generation GoPro, it would look like we were standing outside at midnight
Yeah.
down here because they just didn't work in low light.
Yeah, same thing. Well, it's like when I get on an airplane and I use my laptop, I can't
Yeah.
rely on what the screen looks like because it's
Yeah.
adjusting. I rely on the graphs and you know.
You mean you don't have a full Pantone color chart to reference everything?
I don't shoot middle gray before I edit every single video. No.
Unbelievable.
Daniel brought up the ping the sound thing. We had talked about that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But like Yanda was saying, that you can use it to know that you have spokes all tension the same, but the tension across
But yeah,
different
to know absolute tension from the sound
is not
is yeah. Unless you were to like create a database of all your spokes, and then you could have a really narrow range of lengths, and then also crossing patterns, because that changes where the spoke resonates from. Like, I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Some dickhead out there will figure it out.
There's a savant who could do it,
But
you're
yeah, and he would still need like a guitar tuner or something sitting there showing him pitch.
yeah.
Like,
Yanda was saying it will show you. You could use that sound to know that
But,
the
yeah.
spokes around are not the same as.
yeah,
the
you
other
can
one.
go through, like, if I check a
It's a
bike in,
ballpark.
or Otis checks a bike in, like, he'll go through and then, like, you know, I'll hold my finger on one, and like, if you get one that's like, you know, a totally different sound, then you know something's messed up. But
But across different wheel sets, it's not a.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's nothing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good way to know, like, good.
Yes, so this is a good question here from Benjamin. He said, do you need to retension or at least recheck after some miles on new wheels?
Yes.
Because, yes, you have me bring back new, or anyone.
Yeah.
How many miles, or do you have a time?
It just depends. I tell them no more than 30 days.
30 days.
But if you're going to go out and ride like a shitload of miles, then you can't go 30 days. That's too long. Or like we had some guys that were going on a trip. Like when Micah and those guys went out and rode Monumental Loop, I built wheels for one of them. And, you know, I basically built them, said, you know, you've got 2 weeks before your trip, you need to go ride the shit out of them and then bring them back so I can check them. Whoops.
Got some ducks down here.
Yeah, the wheel's pretty consistent, especially for used spokes and everything. That's super consistent. You're like 4.5% ish, 5% variation between all the spokes per side. So It's good enough.
No, should we wrap it up?
Yep. We can call it.
I think we built a wheel here.
That's how you watch me build a wheel, not necessarily how you build a wheel.
And we talked, we learned, we laughed, we loved, we cried. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks as always for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.